And welcome to the podcast, guys, with Rob and Nando. Today we have two lovely guests on the show. Before we have them introduce themselves, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. We're on YouTube, the podcast guys. Also follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Rumble, the podcast guys _. And we're on X, the old Twitter, the podcast guys 5. So now let's go ahead and have the lovely ladies introduce themselves.
Hello. My name is Yelitza. I'm 20 years old. I work as a pharmacy technician, currently in college, and I am single.
Cool. Very nice. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Hi, glad to be back. Another Yap session. My name is Liz. I am 21 years old. I am a personal trainer, and I am a student at NJCU. I am taking a gap semester, but that's to focus on the personal training stuff.
Awesome.
And I am single.
Welcome back, Liz. Glad to have you back. Must mean something if we have Liz back. It means that she really wanted to jump on board again.
Glad to be back.
Definitely. So it means that we're doing something good here. So awesome. So let's kick it with the first question. What do you have for us, Rob?
So I wanted to do something different this time. I'm going to give you guys two scenarios, and I want you guys to tell me which one you prefer. Scenario one is a short-term fling with a hot, attractive, exciting, toxic man, or would you prefer a long-term, safe, boring relationship with a man with a good job, doesn't cheat, treats you right? Which one of those two would you prefer?
If I'm being honest, I'm going to go for the second option. Because the first one, it's just something, it's a fling, you know? Like, you know what the outcome is going to be at the end. I feel like once you get to a certain point where you know what you want, you're kind of just playing with it. Like, you know that it's going to set up for failure and it's going to backfire possibly because you know he's toxic.
You would rather have something kind of long-term committed.
100%.
You want the long game, right?
100%.
Liz?
Second option, for sure.
Okay.
Long term, if the guy is not a cheater, even if it's boring, our relationship doesn't have to be boring. Like, we make it boring, we make it fun, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But first option, if you're really in the mindset where that's what you want, then that's you. But if you're in a different mentality where, like, yeah, you're dating to marry type of thing, and you know you want to be in a safe space with somebody, then definitely long term.
Mm-hmm. So who would you want to deal with, the bad boy or the nice guy?
The nice guy.
The nice guy.
So nice guys do not finish last.
That is such, like, let me debunk this myth. That's not true. That is not true.
So why don't you believe that nice guys finish last? Because we tend to tell the guys out there that nice guys do finish last, but I guess in your, not everybody's the same. So from your perspective, why do nice guys finish first in this case?
So for me, I personally believe that, like, nice guys don't finish last is because I feel like sometimes the nice guys don't know how to set their boundaries. Like, I feel like they end up finishing last because they're just a yes man. And a woman who knows what they want doesn't want a yes man, you know?
Of course. Now, if a guy is being a nice guys will bring you flowers on the first date, open the door, bring you chocolates, really treat you well. Is that something that's a turn on or a turn off for you?
That's a turn on.
That's a turn on 100%.
Like, if you can keep doing that, then yes, like, you got me there. But if it's like a one-time thing, and I said this before on the last podcast, if it's a one-time thing and you're doing it to catch my attention and you completely stop, then it's a turn off.
100%.
Okay. Well, I'll give you guys credit because to a lot of women out there, it's a turn off. Like, they like the bad boy. A lot of ladies like the bad boy. So, I definitely give the credit to where credit's due, because a lot of women like that, spontaneous guy, the badass, the guy that's gonna, kind of twirl her around and she won't know where she lands type of deal.
Not to speak for anyone, but I feel like a lot of females go for that just for the excitement.
I was just gonna say that.
They keep you on your toes, like, okay, what's gonna happen next? Like, oh, they're gonna go talk to somebody now? Okay, cool. Like, I'll just sit back and relax.
It's literally
see it happening.
It's for the adrenaline rush.
There you go.
That's literally what it is, because sometimes we don't like the nice guy because it's kind of like healthy. And people people define that as being boring, but it's really not. It's like, I feel like we normalize too much of the toxicity and, like, the playing games and, what will this turn into? And we kind of think that that's the better option because it's more exciting, but just because it's more exciting, that doesn't mean it's healthy.
The reason I asked, go ahead.
Sorry, especially in our generation now, seeing that a lot, like in a bunch of different relationships. I feel like that's why a lot of people tend to go for that too.
Yeah.
The reason I asked that question and why I wanted to start with this is because generally when you hear women talk about their ex, it's usually one of a few things. He was toxic. He cheated. He was narcissistic. So you kind of see a pattern. So generally it seems like those type of guys tend to date more women. Obviously they have toxic relationships, but I think they have more success with women. And I just wanted to get a female perspective on which one you would choose, because from what I've seen, I think women, just like men, are going to go through different phases in their life. So when you're younger, you kind of want that excitement.
Yes.
You want that excitement. So when you're in your 20s, that's kind of a crazier like party phase of your life where you kind of like, you know, you're more likely to get into short-term relationships. And then when you get older, you get kind of tired of it. And you're like, you know what? I'm over that crazy phase. I want something long-term, and maybe it's a little more boring, but at least I don't have to deal with the craziness.
Have you guys both have had that phase? Have you passed that phase, or you never had that phase at all?
I feel like where I'm at, I know where I want. So like the phases that I have been in, or the eras more to say, I'm way past it. Like I know what I want, and it's not to say that I get what I want all the time, but it's because I'm very set on exactly what I'm looking for that it does turn out that way.
Okay.
Yeah. So I can definitely agree with her. I feel like I've already gone through that era. And I know that some people might say like, oh, you're 20 years old, like you have so much to live for, like go out there and like date different people. But it's like, I've been in a long-term relationship, but I've also dealt with like the aftermath of that. And I feel like, you know, you want to have fun and all that. You want to explore. And at this point, I think I've spent enough time by myself. And I'm not saying I'm looking for like the love of my life and my knight in shining armor, but I'm not looking for something like just quick and, you know, a little 3 weeks, a little situationship that people may call it, because I don't do that. No.
If you start talking to a guy and you get the sense that he's just kind of looking for a hookup, or like this guy's not serious long term, is that kind of like an instant attraction killer, or would you be willing to like, let me see what he's about first? Like if you get that sense like, this guy's just looking to hook up, he's not looking to date me or like take me seriously, is that like an instant no for you?
1010% no. Like I'm literally not even giving that man the time of day.
Well, we mentioned not to put you on the spot here, but we were talking a little bit before, and you guys mentioned you were going away. Are you willing to say where you're going to be going?
At this point, I mean, by the time this comes out, I
Yeah.
feel like we'll already be there. So
we're celebrating my best friend's birthday. We're going to Florida. So a quick girls trip for a couple days. We're going to have the time of our lives. We have nothing else to worry about from those days. So we're literally going to live it to the fullest.
Cool.
100%. And honestly, like I love that I'm going with her and I get to experience this with her.
I'm so excited.
Me
I have
too.
no idea. We bestie too hard. We're going to go to a family's house. Like,
She's meeting my family for the first time over there, and I'm like, guys, you're going to love her. Like, trust me. So I have a great feeling about this.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And it's great. I mean, of course, you deserve to go and have a good time. Now, the point of me bringing that up is if, you know, Florida, let's say, not to pinpoint exactly where you're going, whether it's Orlando, Tampa, Miami, maybe another spot, I'm sure you guys are going to want to going out for a birthday, go out for some nights out, have a good time. Are you expecting to run into the bad boy that's going to try to pick you up and try to hook up with you or get somewhere with you? Or are you going to be looking for the nice guy to have fun with?
we've honestly talked about it, and we have no intention to go for the boys. We're solely going for her fun and for her birthday, and we're going to have our solo time as well there. So honestly, the boy thing is not anything that interests us at the
Thank
at
you
this
very
moment.
much. There is zero expectations on finding a man, or like there's no intention of whatsoever of like I want to go for this and I want to go do that. No, like
Okay. So it's purely fun.
Yeah, we're
purely
literally
fun. Like we could be anywhere together and we'll have the best of times, sober or not.
100%.
Like
Okay. Okay.
like our biggest issue right now is like, what are we wearing on Thursday?
yeah,
on this date
that's
to
our
that
biggest
date?
concern.
That's
Are we
us
gonna
right
get
now.
good pictures? Are we gonna have good
so
outfits?
where are we going?
Yes.
What time?
Okay, because there are, the girls' trips, especially to like a Miami, to an island, to, an LA, whatever the case may be. It tends to be that girls' nights out. You may not necessarily go after the guy because women don't go up to guys to ask them out, but there will be guys that will try to shoot their shot at you. So will it be something that you'll just turn off right away? Will it be hard to resist, or does it depend on the guy?
don't know. I feel like it would depend on the guy. But again, like, my intention is not to talk to anybody. I'm not really trying to entertain anyone either over there. We're solely going for one purpose and one purpose only. We're going to have fun out of here.
Yeah.
But if it happens, it happens. Like, so be it.
There's a lot of good-looking people in Miami. Every time I go down there, I'm like, shit. Like what? I see myself, and I'm like, damn.
Like, I cannot not break my neck.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, you know, obviously we're after the ladies, a lot of good-looking ladies, but there's a lot of nice looking gentlemen as well for the ladies. So you never know. I'm sure you're probably saying never say never. In that, you know, in that situation, that case, it could happen, but you're not looking for it, which is fair enough. Now, you guys are saying long term, focus on long term relationship, a nice guy. What's the secret to a successful long term relationship for for both of you?
That's a great question. I don't want to say the most basic things, which is like the bare minimum of like honesty, loyalty, caring. Like, I feel like that's just a human decency thing.
Yeah.
Even when it comes to like platonic or romantic relationships, that's just something that should be expected of somebody who's in your life personally.
Agreed.
So for me, I would say consistency, dedication, and I don't know. Those are the only two. Those are the two ones that come mainly to my head, because I don't want to say like, well, loving and all that. Family oriented as well.
It's a good one too.
Yes.
Well, you guys are both Hispanic, right?
Yes.
So I think, Liz, you said you're from Peru.
I'm Ecuadorian.
Fully
Ecuadorian.
My mistake. And you're Colombian, right?
Yes, I am.
There we go. So typically, Hispanic families, we are grown up to be more traditional. So I could see where you're coming from and where your mindset is on that. So consistency, dedication. Would you add in trust, respect to that as well?
Yeah, but like I said, I feel like that would go hand in hand, like with anybody who I would accept into my life personally.
Okay. So that's just the norm for anybody. Yeah. Doesn't matter, relationship, friend.
Yeah, romantic or platonic. If you're in my life, you're in my life for a reason. It's not because I don't trust you or anything like that. If that's the case, I'm not going to let you into my circle, into my personal life.
Okay. And now, have you guys had any long-term relationships yourselves, or?
I have.
We both have.
Yeah, we both have.
Do you have a story to say on that? Something that the people could learn from? Maybe one of the ladies out there that have been through their own struggles, or what a guy could do better.
Okay. I mean, Liz, you can go first.
So I was in a long relationship about 1.5 years. This was a couple years back. It was great. I just personally wasn't in the time of my life where I should be giving that love to somebody else. I wasn't in the self-love as well. I was going through something pretty personal, mentally as well, and physically. So I didn't want to drag the other person along. It's unfair to him, and it was unfair to me to keep him around like that. So I did put an end to it. And then also, like, I guess I was still pretty young. I did not know what I want. I didn't know what I like. And after the fact, I remained single for a couple years. I figured myself out. I did the stuff that I liked. I found out what I wanted and what I didn't want. So now I'm pretty strict on that.
Okay.
Did you ever feel like when you were in your long-term relationships that things got boring? Like, I've experienced it, like where you're like over a year into it. Did it ever get to a point where it felt kind of routine and you started, I don't want to say lose interest, but you started getting bored of the relationship?
Yes.
I think that's something everybody struggles with. That's why I'm asking.
I feel like sometimes people get bored and they kind of mistaken that, like, do I still like them? Do I still love them? But it's like, you're going to get to that point in time in a relationship. But I feel like then and there is where you kind of got to like spark things up. Like, okay, things are getting boring. Like, all right, let's act on it. You know, like, let's not let the spark die down completely. You can always ignite it at any time if you guys are both like putting in the effort to.
What I learned, like at one point I moved in with my ex. We dated for like 1.5 years. The moment we moved in, we broke up like 2 months later. So what I learned was, number one, it's probably not a good idea to see each other every day. Because if you see each other every day, you're going to get sick of each other. You're going to argue. You're going to get bored of each other. You're going to have, bad moods. And it's better to spend more time apart. That's, I think, a key thing to a long-term relationship. And like you said, I think you got to switch things up. But you got to identify. If things are getting boring, you got to figure out why.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Is that why your long-term relationship fell apart? Is because it got boring?
Oh. No. Yeah. So I was in a relationship when I was 14 up until I was 18 years old.
Oh, okay.
So that was pretty much all of high school. And the reason that we had broken up was he was older than me and I was younger. So I feel like when I look at it now, I definitely was trying to find that love that I didn't have within myself with someone else. I mean, I was young, I was naive. I didn't really have that individuality that I have now. I didn't have my own thoughts. I kind of just went based off, okay, like someone's showing me love, they must care about me, they must really want to be in my life, and that was enough for me.
Yeah.
But it got to a point when I was 18 years old, and then at that point I just realized we just wanted two different things. And because we were together for such a long time and at such a young age, I feel like we hung on to that for such a long time that we didn't realize that it wasn't even love anymore. It was just attachment. And that's a little difficult to admit because when you're with someone for so many years, you're like, damn, do I really want to let go of this? Like, is there potential?
You get comfortable.
You get comfortable, exactly. But at that point in my life, I was just like, nothing guarantees me that things are going to get better. What can guarantee me happiness is if I let go. And then that's what I did. You know, we both wanted different things. And obviously I wanted more for myself. And I didn't want to continue to be in the relationship. And I was like, you know what? This is it. And I just let it go.
Yeah. Sometimes that's what you got to do.
Yeah.
Of course. How about communication within a relationship? Because it seems like that could help keep a relationship together, you know, especially with what you went through, you know, as you're getting older now. How big of a role does that play for you?
I think that plays a huge role. Like, I think sometimes people may claim, hey, I'm good at communicating, but then when it comes to like difficult situations or uncomfortable conversations, even, I feel like that's when it comes into play. Like, you could easily tell someone, hey, I like you. But then when somebody does something or makes you feel uncomfortable or puts you in a position where it hurts you, those are uncomfortable conversations to have because, of course, we all care about what the other person's going to say and feel, and I don't want to hurt their feelings, or I don't want them to break up with me if you're like someone like that. But it's important. And I even tell Liz too, like, as my homegirl, like, it's important to communicate in every aspect with everyone in your life about how you feel.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Are you the same? Are you communication is key?
It is, and I do believe it is. I myself still struggle with that, and I know I do, and I'm working on it because it is a difficult thing, especially like the way that you've grown up. It also comes to play. So relationships, friendships, all of that, like, it is very important. Like, you can't read each other's minds. Like, let me know how you're feeling and set it straight. Be straight up with me and stuff like that.
Are you guys more like short fuse, like blow up quick, or do you have a long fuse? Everybody's different. I'm more of a long fuse type of person. Some people.
Well, you guys are Latinas, so I'm
when
sure
you get angry, are you like you blow up in a second?
Where's the edit button?
How dare you? For me personally, my anger is very hidden. I keep it very hidden. That's not really my personality. But when I do get angry, I do blow up. And when I do blow up, it is really bad. Just because I do keep it in, like, within me. I don't let it really show. So it is very rare for me to get to that point. So if it does, that's when you know it's bad.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. You must have done something as a guy to.
Yeah, like, you must have really ticked me off in order to get, like, to see me that way.
If you don't mind me asking, like, what I'm guessing this was in a relationship. Like, did the guy do anything specific that got you to that point? Like,
I feel like the trust, like, that's where it comes to play. Like, if you're telling me one thing and then I see another or you act another way, then you just completely lost my trust. You completely lost my respect. And now I just look dumb. And you do as well.
So
I agree.
Trust, I'm thinking maybe it was something related to possibly being cheated on.
I honestly can't say if I did or I didn't. I hope I didn't. But from what I've seen or from what I found out as well, again, like, that's where the trust issues come to play. Like, if you're telling me one thing and then I go ahead and find out myself, then now it's like what happened? Like, I guess now I had a completely different perspective on you, and that's not it.
Right. You don't see him the same way as you did before.
No.
Not at all.
No.
The respect is completely lost.
Like, once trust is broken, trust me when I tell you, you cannot regain it back. Like,
Agreed.
You can literally say, I forgive you, but I personally think that you're going to be triggered at some point, and then you're just going to think about it all over again.
Yeah.
Especially if I'm not saying, like, you know, I'm just giving an example of, let's say, like, infidelity. Like, people who forgive it. Like, if you forgive it, you forgive it. Like, I don't judge. But I just feel like people who do forgive it that just lingers in the back of their mind, even if it's that 1%.
You'll never forget that. It's always going to be in the back of your mind.
Yeah, you'll drag that all the way through and possibly into your future relationships because you're like, well, if this person cheated on me before, it could mean that the next person will. Even though everybody's different, you shouldn't see your struggles or what you went through in a negative way with one person and carry that on to the next person. Because that's a mistake a lot of men and women make, is that they take the negatives, the failures into the next relationship, and they look at that person like, oh, is this person going to cheat on me? Is this person going to screw me over? When that could be the best person in your world.
Honestly, I feel like it's very important before you get into a relationship to kind of resolve that baggage. Like, nobody deserves to pay for your broken plates, and nobody deserves to be your punching bag. Like, I feel like at such a young age, people don't really give themselves that small gap of being alone. You really have to find out what it is that you like and what you don't like in your own solitude, not because you're forcing yourself to be alone, but learn to enjoy that solitude so that you don't have to pass it on to somebody else. Because like you said, like, for example, she could have been cheated on or I could have been cheated on. I'm not going to bring that into the next person because that's not their fault and they don't need to deal with it. Yeah.
You have to start on a clean slate. Because you bring it into the next, and some people do that, I think, pretty often. They go into the new relationship with the old mindset, whatever they went through, and it starts, you're starting off on the wrong foot already. So
I was just going to say that.
Right. It becomes a sad situation for the next relationship, which could be something good, but it starts off rocky because of what you went through or what that person went through.
And you're still triggered.
No, 100%. I feel like when it comes to like cheating specifically, it like rewires your whole brain. It really does. Like, once you get cheated on, I've spoken to so many people and they're like, I am not the same person whatsoever.
Oh, it'll change you.
Yeah.
It'll definitely change you.
It really does. It like, you go from like rainbows and unicorns to like, wait, hold on, this isn't Cinderella. Like 100%. And so I feel like some people just kind of have to like heal from that genuinely. Like, you have to separate it. What happened to you before could possibly not happen to you in the future.
Makes sense.
True.
Makes sense. Now, I guess let's hammer it down a little bit. Have you guys ever been to that point where you've gotten cheated on or you lost somebody's trust because they did something to you?
I definitely lost someone's trust because of what they did to me, you know.
Are you able to say what they did to you, or is it something that not too comfortable saying, or maybe
well, cheating basically is what it was.
Was it cheating, or was it something else that they did?
No, it was just something else that they did.
Okay.
But it's just like, it's just disrespect. I'm very like, I don't play with it when it comes to that.
Yeah. Nobody should. Yeah.
And now what's worse then? Because there's cheating in different ways for both men and women. Mm-hmm. What's worse, emotional cheating or physical, in your point of view?
Edit that part.
Wait, we gotta do it again at the same time. Do it again.
No, keep going. You're good.
Okay, hold on.
So emotional or physical cheating? Oh. All right.
I had to take a sip of water for this one.
All right,
Honestly,
you got to prepare.
Both are really, really bad. But me being a very emotional person, I feel like emotional cheating is kind of what's going to hurt the most. Because if I'm putting my heart and soul, if I wear my heart on my sleeve and I'm giving it to you and you completely shit on me like that, then yeah, like I'm going to be completely torn, completely broken. Now, if it was physical and I see it or I hear it or I don't know, someone tells me or you yourself tell me, then that's got to hurt as well. Like, they're both there. It's just like emotional wise, like, you don't play with your heart. Like, that's a very, very deep connection, and that's a very deep thing to share with somebody else. So I feel like that'll hurt the most.
Okay. How about for you?
Okay, hold up. So I think men cheat for a different reason compared to women.
They do.
Thank you. So I feel like if someone were to tell me, hey, like, your man did this and this and this, and he like kissed a girl or something, I'd be like, all right, that was lustful, right? Like, there wasn't too much thought put into that. Like, it could have been in the heat of the moment, whatever. I'm not justifying it, but I'm just saying, like, whatever. There's not too much intention behind it. Now, if you emotionally cheat on somebody, you have intentions of like hurting someone.
Plotting.
Yes, you were plotting. Like, you knew exactly what you were doing. It wasn't like on a drunk decision, like, oh, I was drunk, I didn't know what I was doing. Like, you put your effort into being in a relationship with somebody else and you maliciously knew what you were doing.
So you would rather, if somebody, obviously nobody wants to be cheated on, but if you were to be cheated on, it's worse emotionally being cheated on versus physically.
Yeah, because I feel like, I'm not going to lie, I feel like with men, it's like kind of expected, like the whole physical. You know, either dancing with the girl, you know, giving her a kiss on the cheek.
Couple drinks in it.
Couple drinks, yeah, a little kiss, a little peck, you know. But, you know, having that basically a whole nother life with another woman on the side, that's like, wow, you put your time and effort. You knew what you were doing with that one.
Yeah, when men cheat, it's more physical. Like they're drunk, they see a girl that they find attractive, but they don't really care about them. It's like what you're saying. Right? Like it's not, they don't care. Like after that night, they might not even remember them. I think when women cheat, and this is why it hits guys so hard, they know that if they got cheated on, chances are she probably met up with that guy a few times and she has feelings for him. And I think that's why guys get hit harder when they get cheated on. Because
and that's why I asked the question, because men tend to cheat physically and women tend to cheat emotionally. So
you're less likely to just go sleep with a guy. Like if you cheat on the guy you're dating, chances are you really liked that guy more than him.
Like there was a couple of flirtatious comments. Probably there was some talking. It was anticipated.
Yeah, it was like there was build up there. Like there was intentions of like making it more than just a little flirt.
Yeah. Like it could have been the girl kind of choosing signals or some mixed signals to a guy, maybe flirting a little bit with him, a hug, a pat on the back, a smile, you know, conversation. She's in the relationship still, but she's giving these signals, and the guy's kind of giving in a little bit, and eventually she'll go off and cheat. And it took a while for that to happen. So that's why I bring that up, because that hurts more. It's a buildup to cheating, because you kind of worked to get to that cheating point for that woman. For a guy, it's cheating. Yes, it's not saying it's good. It's not good, but it was, oh, she's hot. We're attracted to each other. Let's sleep with each other, you know, whatever, and that's it. And then you go back to the woman. So I see that the emotional cheating is worse versus that, because the guy is not going to have an attachment to that woman after he sleeps with her. Now, if the guy starts buying her purses, taking her out on dinners, and
putting effort into her,
giving her the world, that's right there. That's the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
So
I mean, both have bad in it, but like, why do men cheat? Have you ever cheated?
Have I cheated?
Cut the cameras.
Have I
If you have to think about it.
If you had to think about it, he's like, maybe.
I'm trying to think of the instances. I think I did. Yeah.
Okay.
And that was because I knew the relationship when it was at its tail end. Was about to end. So
okay. So you're mentally checked out.
Yeah, I was pretty much done, and she was. You could tell that she was kind of on her way out too. Okay. So that's why I was like, whatever.
So you're 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
So instead of just being like, let's cut it off, you decided to cheat. Why didn't you just like cut things off, kind of just like clean?
Maybe because I had hopes to see, what happens next and see if things can get fixed. But I should have, and I'll tell this to everybody out there, you should break up first. Then if you want to get with that person, get with that person. Once you're single, man and woman, fair, all hands on deck. Fair is fair. Fair game for everybody. It doesn't matter. But when you're in a relationship, you shouldn't cheat.
The closest I came to cheating was talking to other people while I was in a relationship, but never to the extent of like hooking up or doing anything physical. But that's already, most people would argue it's cheating already.
It's like
right?
borderline.
That's where it begins.
Yeah, I feel like everyone has like a different
definition.
Or
what's the word I'm looking for? Like threshold of.
Like what's cheating, what's not.
Yeah,
like, some people are like, oh, like if you flirt, like cheating. Like if you like look at another girl, like that's cheating. Like I'm just like, okay, like talk about that first.
I did some dumb shit in my 20s. What can we do?
Now I have a question. Would you take back a cheater?
Ooh.
Nope.
Not at all.
Nope.
Even if it's been time?
Nope. I don't recommend anybody to take back a cheater, because it's once a cheater, always a cheater.
I was just going to say that.
I was just going to ask that.
We live by that because it's true. Like, who's to say you're not going to do it again and spin back around and do it again?
Exactly.
100%.
So I fucked up when I did that. But again, it was pretty much ending. So I guess, yes, it's technically cheating because I was still with her. But it was pretty much over. So, but anybody that does actually blatantly cheat, just go off and cheat on purpose, while, they expect that relationship to roll on. No, you don't take that person
I
back.
think most guys, we may not necessarily go back to that relationship after cheating per se, but I guarantee you 99.99% of guys would still sleep with their girl if the opportunity presented itself. I think so.
Yeah, I think if they're both single and they were in a relationship together for a fling, that tends to happen. There's people that get back with
Unless the
exes.
relationship was that toxic where you were like physically fighting and arguing, then maybe not. But if it was just like you broke up or whatever, and then she comes knocking at your door 6 months later, I think most guys would at least hook up.
Well,
Yeah.
do you regret cheating?
In that situation, no, because the relationship was actually almost over.
He said no.
What?
Yeah, I actually
So what?
in that situation, I don't regret it because it was pretty much over. It was just kind of like I should have just said, "Hey, this is done. We're gonna move on." But I would not do that again.
Are you sticking
Ooh,
with the person
yeah.
or?
How can I feel about that? If it's been like as long as it was with you,
Yeah,
would you be honest if somebody said, "Hey, like, have you ever cheated before?" Like, you're talking to this girl, you're getting to know each other. Are you gonna be honest about it, or you're just gonna
Brush it off, be like,
Brush
yeah,
it
that
off.
never happened.
Yeah.
no, I'll be straight up. I'll let them know, "Hey, I fucked up. I did that.
This is my past.
That was in my 20s, and it was at the tail end of my relationship, and that's it. I moved on."
That's a high pressure question too. You say, yeah,
Yeah,
it is,
No,
it is.
it's a make or break for some girls.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
telling
yeah.
you right now.
It is.
Yeah.
It could be a deal breaker. It can
Yeah.
be.
Yeah, but we'll also ask the same thing. We'll say, "Hey, would you ever take back a guy that's cheated on you?"
I have a good one for you guys since we're talking about questions, right? So when you first meet a guy, every girl asks this question, what are you looking for? Right or wrong?
You know what's so crazy? I don't.
I feel like, every dating like podcast talks about this. Like when you start talking to a girl, at one point she's going to be like, oh, what are you looking for?
Mm-hmm.
What do you feel like is the right way to answer that? What's the wrong way to answer that?
Well, I feel like,
You're on a date with a guy and like at some point you just ask him, like you're at dinner, like,
Yeah.
what are you looking for? I've been asked that question.
I feel like I would be like strategic with it. Like I would go through with the dinner and then I would ask them after because that could honestly either I'm staying for the dinner or I'm leaving. Like this is gonna be awkward or we're gonna have a good time.
There's gonna be a food fight, or
Yeah.
we're gonna
Someone's
have a good
paying or
time.
someone's splitting the bill.
Yep. Not even splitting the bill. Bro, I'm going to the bathroom and not coming back.
Yeah, I'm skipping for
But
the
you
window.
see-
That happens very often, actually.
It's one of those questions where like if the guy anticipates it, he may already have like his answer kind of in his back pocket type of thing. That's why
Okay.
I'm asking, because like I know a lot of women will ask that, but if like the guy doesn't expect it, he might just try to wing the answer and like see how it goes. But some guys that like date often will have like an answer, just letting you know.
A scripted answer.
Yeah.
Bro's like this.
Yep.
What I say last, like last time?
Well, did I ask you guys yet? Have you guys ever cheated on someone before?
No,
Never.
never.
Okay. Now, let's say you didn't like something going on in the relationship, or there was something that was tempting you. Would you decide to go off and cheat, or would you first break off the relationship and then get with that person?
I will call it quits the second those thoughts start to go through my mind because I don't play about my time and I'm not about to play with your time. And I'm going to be so honest, karma's a bitch. In any way, shape, or form, whether you want to believe that or not, you're going to get what you deserve, whether that be good or bad, in any time in your life. And so what is the point of cheating? Like, to me personally, like, I don't think so. Like, I'm a person where if I'm not feeling it, I'm going to tell you right then and there. I'm just blunt like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like,
Now, how
the
about
other
for
person,
you?
yeah.
Definitely, like calling it off. Like we're breaking up, and I actually told my other past relationships, like if you at any point in time have the thoughts or you have the action or you have the intentions of cheating, break up with me and go do your thing. Like don't leave me to the side while you're doing it sneaky because that's just fucked up. Like just be straight up.
Yeah, I think people tend to waste their time in relationships and cheat and then stick with that relationship and just kind of hope for the best, while either man or woman should break off that relationship and then start anew with somebody else. I think that makes more sense. But there will be temptations out there, and for both men and women.
100%. There's temptation no matter where it is that you go. I feel like that's just like a given. And at that point, you just have to trust your partner for who they are and what they're showing you.
Exactly.
I think sometimes people cheat and then they feel bad about it and then they lie. That's what happens most of the time. Like the other person will be like, "Did you cheat on me? You could tell me. I won't get mad." And that's not the truth,
bro. Like
what?
What? That's like bro. That's like I'm tricking you. This is a trick question. Like, oh, I'm not gonna get mad.
I think most people are gonna lie about it because they're gonna maybe you were drunk or whatever, and then you're gonna be like, shit, like I don't want to lose this person. Like I'm actually happy in this relationship, and then you're gonna lie and see if you get away with it. I think that's what happens most of the time. I don't think most people cheat and then admit to it.
Well, I think women get away with it more than men. I think.
Who do you think cheats more?
Yeah, who do you think cheats more?
In general.
I feel like
Men.
Yeah.
Really?
And men get caught very easily.
Because
that's why.
Because it's so like unintentional, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, like it's so like careless and thoughtless. It's like
Yeah.
on the heat of the moment.
Yeah.
It's always
Like
physical.
bro could literally be in the club with a bunch of cameras and be like, oh, like I didn't even think about it, and he gets caught up with a picture.
I actually think, well, not I think, I know women cheat more, and the reason why I say that is because women have more options, right? How many DMs, texts, guys just coming up to women, putting themselves all over, social media to try to get a woman, all these things. How many guys do that? A lot of guys do that. Men are going after women. It's not the other way around. So I think because women have all the options, women tend to cheat more.
I think overall women cheat more often, but I do agree with you in the sense that I think a man is more likely to cheat for a petty reason. Like he got drunk and slept with some girl. But I think overall women have way more opportunity to cheat because most guys aren't going to have 5-10 girls in their DMs. Really good looking guys. I'm not talking about really good looking, top tier, whatever you want to call them guys. Most men realistically, honestly, aren't even going to have the option to cheat with that many women.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
Men don't have.
If they were given the opportunity to, different story.
Yeah, it's a numbers game. Me knowing about numbers and all.
Mm-hmm.
More.
Hey, salesman.
That's what it is
it comes
here.
to play.
That's the thing that women get so many DMs, so many text
I can
messages.
see why you think that. I'm not saying it's correct. I mean,
well, let's say in this case, how many DMs do you guys currently have that are not read?
I have absolutely no idea because my notifications for my Instagram are turned off.
Really? Okay.
Candy queen.
So you never check.
No.
Okay. How about for you?
Me too. I honestly don't pay mind to it.
No.
I really don't. If I were to scroll, there are probably some unread ones, but again, I don't open them. They don't catch my attention.
Yeah, no, unless you're saying something I don't know. If you're just complimenting me.
Yeah.
And you're sending me
then.
hard eyes or oh you look good or something like that, all right, can you say something to differentiate yourself? Set yourself from the side.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me something small you noticed in that picture, Then I'll be like, okay.
Well, it's a good point because I think we talked about this last time. Guys usually shoot to the DM to try to hit on girls, but where they screw it up is they just put fire emoji, wet emoji, hard eyes, whatever.
The boring
that's so
stuff.
So
That's a turn off.
Yes, immensely. Blocked.
So men should try to start a conversation and don't jump out being sexual right out the gate. Is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, that's a biggest turn off. If we're speaking or we're texting or we're having a conversation and you start being sexual as quickly as I'm answering, no, you're done.
Mm-hmm.
You completely lost me. I'm looking the other way.
So what statement, or maybe I wouldn't say compliment, what will hook you into that man and that conversation when he DMs you? What does he have to tell you in the DMs for you to respond?
All right, I'm not giving you guys a cheat code, but I'm saying I usually post pictures with a song. If you tell me, hey, I like that artist, or oh, you like that artist too, I went to go see them, or something like that, don't tell me, oh my gosh, wow, your face is so beautiful, your body's bang. I don't want to hear that. No.
No, it makes sense. Start the conversation based on something you observe, something a detail you know.
So it looks like you're not just looking at me in an objective way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
So you want a man to engage with you more on an intellectual basis, so you don't feel that he's just going after you for your looks.
100%. I like a man who can intellectually stimulate my brain.
Now, once he DMs you, if you start the conversation, have you ever looked at a guy's profile and been like, that's kind of whack? He's got pictures playing ping pong or something. Did you ever look at his profile and it was an attraction killer for you? Is there anything that you could kind of point out that guys do on their Instagrams or whatever else that's kind of don't post that?
I mean,
Okay, I'm gonna be so honest right now. A man who has a Finsta, what are you doing?
yeah.
A what?
A Finsta?
What is that?
Like a spam
Thank you.
page.
Thank you.
A spam page?
Why do you know what a Finsta is
So,
and why do you have one?
A fake page.
Yes.
Yeah.
Trying to get you. Okay.
Like what? I feel like that's for the girls.
That-
Should a guy have only a couple pictures or a lot of pictures? What do you
Honestly,
think?
it doesn't even matter. Like that really doesn't matter.
I'm
to
just
me,
wondering, like-
no, or like a close friends,
What do you mean? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
and you just
Gotcha.
like added me or something. I'm like, what are you doing?
Oh,
It's too like,
when the story comes up green.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, it's funny because when that first came out, I didn't know what it was, and I just this was years ago, and I just added a few people on it. Like I was like, oh, let me see,
Oh.
and I was like, oh, that's what that is. So I can see what you're saying.
No, but I love that you guys don't know what a Finsta is. Like, please keep it that
I
way.
didn't know what it was. Yeah.
I mean,
really-
like,
I know what a fake like there like if you block someone, right? If you block a guy that you're not attracted to or did something to you, whatever it is, and then he comes with another page and he tries to spam you or
no,
whatever.
that's just like a fake page of him being weird.
Okay,
No,
but that's not a Finsta.
no, a
That's not a
Finsta is
Okay.
like, you know how you have like your regular Insta, you know, they call it Rinsta, real Insta. And you
Okay.
have like a Finsta, like a funny Instagram. Like
your
it's
Oh, like
closest
memes or
friends
something?
Are in it.
your memes, like crazy pictures of you, like
Oh,
a
okay.
digital diary. You know,
Okay.
it could be public, it could be private. Some people have it public, some people have it private. But as a man, like, what are you doing? Why do you have that?
do you ever click on the guy's follow, like
I
to see
didn't
who
know
he
that.
follows?
I was just gonna say that.
Because one that I hear is like if they see that like if a woman sees that you follow a bunch of models, for example, that it's a turn off. Does that actual thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is a thing.
Okay.
Like if I see, wait, did you want to go back?
No, go ahead.
Okay. If I go on a man's page and his following is like 500, well, his followers are like 500, right? And then he has like 2,000 following,
Okay.
and majority of those like OnlyFans girls, models, half naked girl. What are you doing?
I got you.
You're using social media for the wrong reasons, buddy.
Yep.
But you do check it. You
Yes.
yeah.
Yes,
Because no, I
of
heard this
course.
multiple times that women that will look at your like. Guys are like, oh, I hope she likes my photos, but in reality, she's not only looking at your photos; she's looking at who you're following
Yes.
too. And I think guys overlook that part.
100%.
Yeah, I
There's
didn't-
two different. I'm sorry.
No,
There's
go for
there's
it.
two different type of men that have like social media platforms. The first one is the models, the OnlyFans girls, the half naked girls. The other one is like pure his boys, soccer, football, like the sports stuff. or,
Follows like 300 people.
or like
No, we love that.
artists or stuff like that. That's like that looks good on you.
Yeah.
Like if it's
Okay.
the other one, like no, like you're using.
I feel
it
like
for
it
the
gives
wrong
you like a
reasons.
good rep.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like
okay.
we're starting off, okay.
Is it a red flag if you meet a guy and he does not have social media?
It's not.
No.
To each their own. Like a lot of
Yeah.
people have it for fun. A lot of people have it to network themselves. Some people simply don't live the social media life and stay out of it. So
I've heard some women say that they would prefer their man not to have an Instagram at all.
yeah,
Yeah. So
100%.
Yeah, because you have connections to so many people on Instagram that
Yeah,
At the same time, I don't know. Like if you don't have social media in this generation, it's like why are you hiding? Why are you being mysterious?
that's the thing.
It is weird.
It's either good or it's bad if
Yeah.
a man has social media. It's bad because there might be a bunch of women following him, or he might be following a bunch of women. But it's also bad if he doesn't have it because what's he hiding? So as a guy, can't win sometimes.
you win some, you lose some.
if you got into a
In
relationship,
that case, it's a lose-lose though.
It's a lose-lose.
Yeah.
if you got into a relationship, would you be willing to kind of like hand off phones with your guy and like unfollow pages that you don't like? Like you don't like him following models. Like it would be, you go in this
I
phone, it's like
wouldn't
unfollow.
grab his phone and be like, hey, do that. I would just communicate that. Be like, hey, like,
That's
I don't
what I
really
mean.
feel comfortable with that.
Yeah.
If I mention it once and he's like, yeah, like I completely understand. Like I'm gonna leave it up to you at that point. I already communicated how I felt. You do what you want with that information.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you choose to still follow those girls and follow some more, then at that point you're just disrespecting how I feel and you're not being considerate whatsoever.
But can he do the same thing
About what?
to your Instagram?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That was my question. Yeah.
It goes both ways.
Yeah.
Like,
This is a
if you're-
two-way street.
Exactly. Like if you're disrespected in one way, tell me, and if I do otherwise, then that's on me.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm telling you as well, and then you do the complete opposite, then you're just going against my word.
Mm-hmm.
Like what
Okay,
was the point of me speaking to you about?
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense. That makes sense. How about reading DMs? Would you let your man read your DMs?
Honestly, I would probably screenshot it and send it to him. Be like,
Yeah.
we'd laugh about it.
I'd be like, babe, can you believe this?
Yeah.
Like, look at this.
and laugh
Okay.
about
You know?
it and then ignore it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, because there's a lot of ladies out there that are so big into, I don't want my man to see my text messages, my DMs, none of that. So a guy that knows his worth, has self-respect, is not insecure. He's actually secure because he wants to make sure that the relationship is flowing. That's a secure man. Yeah, again, men out there, you are secure about your relationship when you're making sure that there's nothing that's going to hinder that relationship. What do I mean by that? That there isn't another man trying to get into your woman's pants. Pretty much it.
In simpler terms.
It could be DMs, it could be text messages. So, and for the ladies out there, it's not such a bad thing, as you guys mentioned, for a man to look at your text messages if he's questioning something, or DMs. It's important because that's clear-cut communication.
Yeah.
And making sure you trust one another. So that's
like,
good.
Like, if it's easier for you to look at the text, sure. But I would hope that there's some trust in there where my word is enough.
Yeah. Like the whole, like, let me go through your phone. Like,
Like, we're too grown
pushing
for
it.
that. Like, that's
Yeah.
your privacy, and I totally
Right.
respect that.
Okay.
And I would hope that you respect the same thing.
Well,
Like,
that's in case there's something that's questionable. He wants to make
exactly,
sure.
yes.
Yeah.
But the whole, like, oh, like, regularly, like, give me your phone type.
No, regularly, yeah.
No.
Or share your location or something like
There's-
that. That's like
That's OD.
that's okay,
There's
yeah.
like
Too much.
some type of insecurity in the back where there's some
Yeah.
type of doubt that you got going on, and girl, you gotta talk about it, not go through that phone.
yeah.
Okay. Now, since you both are single, what's the biggest lesson you guys have learned while being single, while taking that time alone? What's the biggest thing that has really impacted you?
That's a good question.
we chatted up about it.
yeah. I think I'm just gonna bring it back to just like really getting to know what you want. Don't go for the first silver golden spoon that's given to you, especially for my girls who have been alone for such a long time. You know, it feels a little bit out of place when you're like, oh my gosh, I like someone after so long. But don't get blindsided. Don't lose that vision of what it is that you want. Like, if the man is lacking like 50% of what you've literally been preaching on what you want, girl, go for the next guy. You know, like what I've always heard is like, what one man won't do, another man will. And one man's, oh, this is too much, is another, oh, that's it.
Okay. So you have standards. What are your standards for a guy? What are your top 5?
Oh my gosh.
Because we know ladies out there, you guys have chapters, one chapter at a time, probably like.
I think women are harder to please than men are, because men are like simple. Like, we're just like,
I know.
look good and
right?
like
I sometimes I question it. I'm like, how?
we're simple creatures.
that's
We're
what
very
you
we're
want?
like
Like, that's all you guys want?
yeah, we're very simple.
Food, peace, support.
I think this is a
And
good question because
Girl.
the reason we
Yeah.
ask questions like this is not just because we want to know, but guys that are watching, I think, should understand where women are coming from and how they think. So that's why we ask these type of questions. So what are like 5 things that are like things that you consider, that you look at it for in a man?
I definitely look into consideration. Be considerate in everything that you do, with every intention that you have. Don't do something that you don't want done back to you.
Okay. That makes sense. So pretty much don't cheat because you don't want to be cheated on.
It doesn't just go for infidelity. It goes for everything, and everything that you do is kind of like, if you're going to make a decision, like, include me in how you think I'm going to feel at the end of the day.
Okay.
Especially if like you're together for some time, you know, like my decisions are going to affect you in some type of way, and your decisions are going to affect me at some point.
Okay.
The word, I brought this up last time. Emotionally.
Available.
No,
Oh,
help me out here.
Emotional intelligence.
Emotional intelligence. That's what you're talking about. Yeah.
I love an
That's what you're
emotionally
referring to.
intelligent man. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Now, what's another one? You have 4 more. So you got
Okay.
consideration.
Listen, I know that not everybody is healed completely, because I would be lying through my teeth if I said, yeah, I'm completely healed. I'm not. And I don't think every human is. I feel like at some point you get to, you know, a stage in your life where you kind of heal with a person, you kind of grow with them, but don't depend on somebody to heal you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like,
agreed.
don't go into it being like, oh, you're gonna be the fix to my problems. Like, no.
No,
So
no.
hold your own.
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
Like, be able to stand on your own ground, and you know, I want to know that my partner's going to be able to stand on their own 2 feet. Like, of course, there's going to be times where you got to help one another more than some days, but that whole codependency, no.
Yeah, it makes sense. Men lead, women follow. So women want to depend on the guy that can hold his ground because she's going to be alongside him and wants that also protection. Men protect women.
No.
So they want a man that is ready, that can put his foot down in any situation, anytime, anywhere. So.
A woman doesn't always want to feel in her masculine energy when she's with a man. She wants to be in her feminine energy, and that comes from me. Like, I feel like I want to be with someone who's going to protect me, who I don't feel like I have to feel like the alpha in the relationship.
Do you like when men put you in your place? Like, if you ever like start arguing, like, do you like it when a man puts you in your place, or is it like borderline disrespectful? Obviously, it depends how it's done. But
Thank you. It depends on the take on it. Like, I love an assertive man. Like, tell me what you think I did wrong, but don't think that you can talk to me in a nasty way or anything like that. Like,
don't degrade
not cursing
me.
or
don't belittle me, don't degrade me, don't disrespect me, but be like, listen, I didn't like this so and so, or I think you should have done this differently. I would have been like, thank you. Like, you have the best in interest of me to kind of look out for me, and you're not gonna let me like burn and crash, you know?
Because if the guy's like too passive, right, he lets you do kind of whatever, and like, would that be a turn off for you if you notice like this guy's kind of like letting me do whatever? Like, he's not.
Because it's like, where's your self-respect? Do you really want to be with a woman that does whatever it is that she wants? No, and I wouldn't want to be with a man who does whatever he wants and all that stuff. Because like, come on.
Not even that. It kind of goes off to like, oh, do you even care? Like, you're not asserting yourself in that way. So it's like, wait, you're like just letting me do my thing. Like, nothing bothers you.
I think sometimes guys want to play this like stoic, like nothing gets to me type of role. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, they're trying to be
a lot
nonchalant.
of men are that way.
Nonchalant. I'm like, bro, you're what? Like, no.
The problem with that is there's a time and place to be nonchalant and stoic, but if you're too passive in a relationship, I think women don't like that, right? It's a turnoff. You seem weak or like you just don't care.
Yeah.
I don't want to be with a doormat.
It could convey the wrong thing. Exactly.
You would be able to control the guy in any direction of his life, anything.
But like, honestly, I feel like that just leads to toxicity.
A lot of men say they like the toxicity, but honestly, it's like, if you do, like, are you really in tune with your emotions in that way? Like, are you very emotionally intelligent in that way if you really want to be a doormat?
Yeah.
Like, we don't want that, and I wouldn't expect a man to want that either.
Oh, you're saying like guys like a little toxicity from the woman?
Yeah.
A little bit, a little spicy.
Maybe a little spicy.
A little spiciness,
a little
but to a certain
spicy, but not
extent. Yeah.
Just show like the care, but
because
not too much.
A lot of something is never good. You know, it doesn't matter. You know, water. A lot of water, not good. A lot of, you know, not obviously very little toxicity in general. A good relationship is good. You know, mix it up, makes it interesting.
Yeah. Healthy toxicity.
It makes it less boring because obviously you don't want a boring relationship.
Yeah.
But you don't want to be able to walk all over a guy because then you can manipulate him if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
And it's like, now I'm dominating you. Now I'm making me be the alpha, like she said, and I basically just took that away from you.
There has to be just enough tension to make it attractive. There has to be a little bit of a tension. I feel like for two people to be attracted to each other, it becomes a problem when like we were talking about before. If the guy just is so nonchalant that he doesn't react to anything, I could see how women would look at it and be like, this guy's either like a doormat or he's like maybe not all mentally there. So,
are there any like loose screws?
Yeah, exactly.
But too much toxicity would be, hey, you know, I don't want to do this. I don't want this.
Yeah, because then it becomes a norm in the relationship, and it's like, okay, now your toxicity is like consistent. Like, it's not cute anymore. I'm not having fun. You're not having fun.
At that point, I feel like that just doesn't even feel like a relationship anymore.
No.
It's kind of just like
when there's too much toxicity.
Yep.
Well, I mean, when the man's just being like a yes man.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like,
no, of course.
Like, I'm gonna be so real. I basically have a dog.
That's why I want.
I have a dog. Like, sit, stand, go get water, fetch.
I want guys to hear this because a lot of channels preach like stoicism, like you have to be stoic and non-reactive and don't convey any emotion, but like sometimes you have to.
Yes.
Yeah, it'll keep things interesting and it'll keep the communication clear cut. Women will tell a man, and they don't have a problem telling a man when they have an issue. Same thing with the guy. Yeah. Guys need to be straight up, of course, in a respectful fashion, letting you know if there's something wrong. And that's how you work to change things and improve the relationship.
100%.
So awesome. We have two. So we have hold your own consideration. What's another standard?
Oh, Liz, you go. I've gone.
family-oriented man and a very emotionally intelligent man. Like I said, if you're a man that you're in tune with your emotions, you know what you want, you know what you like, and you know exactly what your feelings are, and you can put it out there in words and communicate that.
Okay, so I'll put those as separate, family oriented, because there's a lot there.
Yeah, 2 different ones.
Yeah, family oriented and emotional intelligence. So, and is that something that you share as well?
Oh, 100%. Like I am someone who, I have a lot of siblings. I have 5 siblings.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And I have different sides of families and all that stuff. And it's just a big family all in one, right? So I can't be with someone who, I mean, it's probably not their fault or anything like that. You know, if you come from a broken family, I get it. But like, just don't project that onto like,
Oh, like if they got like
me.
crazy vibes or like some family issue.
you know, like they just don't want to be included or anything like that. Like they don't care to make a relationship with my parents.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
That is,
That's
you're
like
done.
the most important. Like
You're
if
done.
I am bringing you into my sacred place
Mhm.
to meet my sacred people. Like I expect there to be a relationship. I expect you to get along with my family like I would get along with yours. It's the
100%.
mutual
Plus, I
respect.
think if a girl invites you to meet her family, that's a very good sign. Like for guys, right? Like
I
if,
know,
should be.
yeah, it is.
It's
I
a good
feel
sign.
like it's more of a like bigger sign when a woman does it because I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like a lot of girls that I meet now, they're like, "Oh my gosh, like he introduced me to his mom." Girl, she just came to pick him up. Like, what do you mean?
I see.
You know,
Yeah,
like they
yeah,
take it as in like a big thing. They're like, "Oh my gosh, like he's really into me." Like, girl, did he formally say like, "This is my woman"?
You're right
this
about
is my
that.
girlfriend. Like,
You're right about that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's when you know as a woman, when that man makes you yours, you'll know. He'll invite you out to dinner with his parents, introduce you. That's when he'll start taking you seriously.
yeah,
I think same thing with a woman as well. You know, you have to get to know her parents.
Yeah, because,
So,
correct me if I'm wrong, but you're not going to just bring any guy to meet your family.
no,
You get what I'm saying? So
No.
I think when a woman invites you to meet her family, I think that's a very good sign.
no. And my family's very like territorial with me. Like they don't play about that.
Right. They're going to watch
And
out
my
for you.
siblings either. So like I have 3 older sisters and I'm the youngest. So they will inspect the man himself.
After
They will
the guy leaves, you're going to like,
no, I'm being so serious. Okay, so quick story. So my oldest sister with my first boyfriend ever, it was my birthday. I'm like 15 years old, right? And my sister, like she raised me with my mom, you know. And she comes in and then she's meeting the guy for the first time and he's sitting down and she goes, "Get up." She's like, "Give me a turn."
oh, to the guy?
Yes.
Oh, damn.
And I'm just standing there. I'm like,
I'll be nervous.
and then she's like, "All right, you can sit down."
Oh, shit.
Walks away. I'm like, oh my, I'm not gonna have a boyfriend by the end of my birthday.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
he's gonna leave.
But she's setting that tone. She's setting
Yes,
that, yeah.
she is standing her ground. She's like, yeah,
No,
I'm
that's
not
good.
messing around.
No, it's good. It's good.
she was preventing any unnecessary BS from a guy.
Oh,
potentially.
yeah.
She wants to
No, it's
make
good,
sure
though.
that
I love that though. I love that my siblings are like that. I love that my family's like that. So of course, like I'm gonna be very selective and very picky on who I bring into that. So,
Yeah.
that makes sense. I mean, with being Latino myself, like Latin community, I know we're more traditional and we tend to be close together as a family.
Yeah.
So we know each other's significant others. We'll know or investigate that to the fullest extent to make sure that our family member is comfortable with that person. So it's good. It's good. It's a good thing because some people go off or they get into a relationship with somebody and they get screwed up, either guy screwing up a girl or vice versa, and they don't have anybody there that could have checked that person beforehand. So I think that's a good thing.
I'm like that with my friends.
What's that?
Very territorial.
Oh, with
I am
friends.
Oh, yeah,
very,
no, it's good, that's good.
very like, oh my gosh, all my girlfriends, like when they have boyfriends, girlfriends, doesn't matter what it is or who it is, but they'll be like, yeah, like Yelitza, you gotta check this one out. I'm like, all right, don't worry about it. Give me like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think girls tend to do that. They kind of like will judge like the other girl's boyfriend and like talk to them on the side, like, yo, he seems a little off. I don't
It's
know.
the
you know?
girlhood, yeah.
Yeah.
Girlhood.
Yeah.
Now, is that a positive or a negative? Because sometimes when a friend is single and then their friend is about to get into a relationship or they're talking to somebody, they tend to talk them out of it. So do you think there's any jealousy involved in that situation?
if there is jealousy involved, get a new friend.
Yeah.
Because her and I check each other all the time.
All the time.
And it's never with malicious or bad intentions.
Yeah,
it's always
for like the greater good. Like I want my friends, like if I'm doing good, I want my friends to be at the table with me eating good as well. Like if you're up, like it doesn't even matter that you're at a higher like financial state of mind or higher career, whatever it is. Like I'm always gonna want the best for my friends. So when it comes to anything, I'm not even talking about relationship wise, like we'll tell each other like, listen, like I didn't like this, or maybe you should do this, or
like, hey, I got the ick, got it, cut him off.
Yeah. No. Like literally when I mean, I'm like, oh, Liz, like I'm like, all right, so he's so and so and so. And she's like, all right, he's good for now. Yeah. And then she's like,
never mind.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because a lot of the ladies out there tend to get jealous and they tend to screw their friend's relationship.
I can see why. I feel like that's like with self-sabotage intentions. I'm like, girl, if you didn't see the red flags, there's the big red flag in your face.
Yeah, yeah. That's why, again, ladies out there, if you have a friend that is pretty much sabotaging your relationship just because they want to see you single with them, they are jealous of you, get rid of that friend.
Yep.
1,000. Girl, listen to me. Do that immediately. Don't even be like, oh, like maybe she just like, I don't know, maybe she wants to. No, she doesn't. She does not.
I have a question now. So if you're in a relationship and your single friends want to go on a girls trip, like you guys are going on, and the guy tells you, nope, I don't feel comfortable you going. What are you gonna do?
You're not my dad.
Huh?
You're
going anyway.
In the club. Because who are you to tell me?
See, but this is one that guys get kind of caught up on. Like when they're with like it depends where. Like if it's Miami, Vegas, like things like that. I think most guys are like they don't want their girl going.
But like why?
If it's with single friends. I'm saying.
If it's just you and your girls, there's a risk. You're putting yourself in, let's say Miami, or wherever you guys are. I know you guys said Florida, whether it's Miami, Tampa, whichever it is, Fort Lauderdale, Naples, whatever. You're putting yourself in a situation where there's temptations, there's risk. Guys are going to be coming up to you, trying to win you over, whether it's for a relationship or you don't know. It could be for a spontaneous evening. Maybe you might go for a walk on the beach. Who knows? One thing will lead to another. But as guys, and a secure guy in a relationship is not going to let his girl go with her single girlfriends out there, because that's something that he's risking. He's risking his girl cheating on him, pretty much. So,
but honestly, like there's temptation everywhere. If it's not on a girls trip, she can go out for one night with her girlfriends in the same town, and it'll still happen. If you don't have like a reason to be like, hey, like I don't like, yes, they're single and everything, but you have to put that trust in your partner. Like you really just can't control it. Because I'm sure if men want to go on a guy's trip, I mean, they're going to be like, hey, can I go? And, you know, you're a good boyfriend and everything. I don't see why not.
We'll tell the guys to take their girl with them. So
really?
Would you take, yes, say you have your girls trip. You're in a relationship. Would you have your guy come along?
I would ask my girlfriends.
Yeah. I mean, if it was a girls trip initially and he wants to tag along, then it's something we have to ask the girls.
Yeah.
Like, I can't just put you in that situation. So.
Because usually girls will say like, oh, why don't you want me to go? Don't you trust me? That's like the question that gets thrown out. I don't even think it's a matter of trust. It's not that he doesn't trust you, but he's putting you in a high-risk situation because they're single. And let's face it, when girls are in a club, all the guys there are going to assume you're single. And they're gonna, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna try to dance up on you and whatnot. Not saying that you would cheat per se, but you're being put in a scenario where the guy's gonna be thinking about it for that week or weekend or whatever.
So if I'm with this guy, maybe like I don't know, like long term, I'm gonna be like okay. If I'm with this guy for the first couple months or within the first year,
makes sense.
We're to me, I've been in a relationship for like 3+ years. 1 year is still fresh to me. I feel like you're still like in that honeymoon sort of, you're still, you know, obsessed with each other, all that stuff. But, you know, if you're married and all that, I feel like obviously you should establish those boundaries. Like, listen, like we don't go on trips without each other. We don't go away. We don't do guy trips. We don't do okay. To each their own. Every relationship is different.
Yeah, because if I was in a relationship, I would rather travel with whoever I'm dating.
Right.
I wouldn't want to travel alone either. Like,
yeah, because that's your person.
Yeah.
What if it was a bachelorette? What if it was a bachelorette?
I haven't had a bachelorette because I never got married, but I've been to them.
Yes.
And I'll tell you exactly what ended up happening. You were there. So my friend was getting married. We took him to a strip club, but it was a non-nude strip club. It was one of those bikini, they don't show anything, right? And we offered to get him lap dances. He said no because his wife is very like, if he's watching, you probably know who I'm talking about. Very strict. So we went to the strip club. He didn't cheat. He didn't do anything. But then again, we don't know what she did. But he didn't cheat.
He really didn't do anything. But who knows what she did? She went off, had her bachelorette with all her girls wherever she went. Not sure where she went. Don't remember. But she did have her bachelorette because I remember he had his bachelor's and she had her bachelorette, and there's a risk in that situation, and many women go out there and experiment and do all these crazy things because let's do it because it's right before we get married.
Yeah, I never really like agreed with that.
Because once we get married, it's over. That's it. You can't do anything.
Like when people
else.
say like, "Oh, it's my last night being single," like, girl, you know you're still engaged, right?
Right,
Like,
you got to be careful with that shit. Yeah.
Like, girl, you still got a ring on your finger.
Yeah.
Here's a hot take. If I were to get married, which, again, I don't expect to do, and I don't suggest guys ever get married, but if I were to do that, right, no bachelorette or...
Like, skip that part
I
altogether.
would skip that part. No bachelorette party, no bachelor's party.
Probably better off.
I would have a big ass party with my partner the night before with all our friends.
I think that's better.
I think
all
that,
of us together.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason why you should go behind. Like,
it's a weird
we'll
concept.
debrief later on.
It really is.
It
Who
is.
came up with that?
No, seriously.
Hey, for one more night, we're just gonna potentially fuck this
Yeah.
whole thing up.
For one
it'll
more
be
night,
fine.
we'll
Right.
pretend
Yeah.
we're single.
for one more night, we're going to fuck other people before we fuck each other for the rest
Right,
of our
for the
lives.
rest of our life. Like, let me not tie the knot now.
Yeah,
We'll
exactly.
wait 24 hours.
And if they say they're not,
Stop the cap.
come on, like that's
That part.
that they're
That
lying. And yeah, there's guys that could do it too. I'm not saying just women, but again, women are more at risk, more because there's going to be more guys coming up to them. There's going to be more guys hitting on them.
Okay, I can see why you think that. I don't think it's a fact statement. But why wouldn't you get married is my question now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's no benefit to the guy.
Oh.
So
What do you mean?
So let's say, number one, the government, they have their hands all over the relationship because you sign off. With
Oh,
the
I was like,
government.
where'd the government come from?
Yeah, you sign when you get married. The government's involved. That's it's a contract.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is that once marriages fall apart, and once a marriage falls apart, guy loses at least half of his stuff or more, because a guy can lose his house, he can lose his car, he can lose half his bank account, stuff he's worked for his whole life that she just came in and joined him, and now she's going to take when
But
Isn't there something that
there's
you
a
sign?
prenup.
I was just gonna
So
say
either
that.
you sign the prenup before you get married or when you get married, or
I'll get to
I'm taking my stuff.
Let
You
me-
take yours.
Are you?
Back up.
Would you guys sign prenups?
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to take what I worked my ass off for,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to split 50-50. Same thing as I'm not going to take your shit either.
But no offense, what if the guy has more than you guys?
That's your stuff.
Good for him.
Good for him, yeah.
So
on.
you're still okay with signing off even?
Yeah, 100%. percent
Okay, that's fair. Now the thing is though that not all prenups hold up in court, so that's why I tend to tell guys, hey, you're better off not doing it at all, because even if you sign a prenup, if it doesn't hold up, if the judge says, well, hey, you signed the prenup, but I don't care, you still have to give most or half your shit to your ex-wife.
Wait, so then what's the point of the prenup?
Yeah. I
I'm
thought it was
confused.
like a set thing.
It's something that is out there. It works, but there are times where it doesn't hold up in court.
I feel
I've
like,
heard stories about that.
I think, or I don't know. I'm like thinking, but like, I believe why it might not hold up in court if there's kids involved.
Correct.
If there's kids involved, that's a different story. Like the custody, this other thing. I feel like that's why it might not hold up, because in other situations, I don't see why.
Some states have laws where even if you live in the same house or apartment for a certain amount of time,
And you're
it
not-
starts to.
And you're not married, you still have to give
It gets tricky.
a portion to
The prenup only really affects
woman.
what you had prior to the marriage. But if you sign a prenup, you get married for, let's just say, 8 years. Everything moving forward may not necessarily hold up
In the
with
prenup.
the prenup.
Yeah.
That's
That
where
makes
it gets
sense.
tricky.
So there's a lot of tricky details. There's a lot of
Yeah, you
things
read the
involved.
fine print. Like I know
The whole contract.
Look through that.
Yeah, I would definitely read everything. If I were, I'm not one to get married, but if I were a guy out there making that silly decision, then I would definitely look into that thoroughly. I think that's very important.
Look, the average marriage in the U.S. lasts 8 years. I think at this point it's safe for both the man and the woman to sign a prenup at this point, regardless of what you make.
At the very least.
At very least.
At the very least, because the thing is that 50 to 60% of marriages and separation, end in divorce and separation. So, or separation, either or. And 70% to 80% are initiated by women. So usually the guy gets married for love, while women get married for benefits. And that's why I tell men to really be careful, because usually not to their benefit. That's the problem. You guys seem to have a disagreeing face.
Yeah, I
Side
don't
eye?
know. Literally, like if you're getting married, it should be for the only reason. Like you love each other. Like you guys want to love each other indefinitely and forever. Like that's what you're signing up for. But if there's like a certain thing in mind, it's like, okay, he has money, maybe I can have like half of that, and like I'll take his last name. No, then you're getting married for the wrong reason, and it's not gonna last.
It's really not. Like I said, it's like there's karma already behind that.
The scary thing is that there's a lot of women out there that are looking to marry, and then they're excited about, okay, I'm going to marry this guy, but I'm excited to get married because I'm going to divorce him and take a chunk of his stuff.
I have yet to meet a woman who's like, yeah, I look forward to divorce.
Yeah, that's very
Look,
millennial.
a lot of the times we know people personally. Sometimes they don't go into it with bad intentions. It just doesn't work out. They have kids. Life
Which
gets
is fine.
difficult.
That
you
too.
know.
That too.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not bad intentions, but it does happen. It's not, for 50 to 60% of couples, it's not happily ever after.
You know what I think it really comes down to? I don't believe that it's that people are going into marriage with like the wrong intention. I think everybody goes into marriage with the right intention. But I think people are just nowadays very quick to give up and walk away. That's what I think it is. Because like you're seeing shorter and shorter marriages.
That's the thing. Like, okay, boyfriend, girlfriend is a different story. Now, a marriage, like if we're going through something, like some hardships, like we're working it out one way or the other. Like you sleep on the couch, I'll sleep in the bed. But either way, like we're still married. There's
We'll
a ring
figure
on
this
my
out one
finger.
way or another.
We have to figure it out one way or the other.
But that is not an option.
In our grandparents' era, people were married for like 80 years. Like now, that's like unheard of. Like you
Bro,
hear
my
somebody's
grandparents
married,
are like together for like 30 plus years. I'm like, what?
it's almost unheard of now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, my folks thankfully are together for almost 40 years.
Oh,
it's
that's so
crazy.
sweet.
That's
Congrats to them.
It's a long time.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But you don't see that too often. I mean,
I know, right? We're like, oh my gosh, your parents are still together?
Yep.
yeah, you know,
And that should tell you something because it's like
Yeah.
we're seeing the times change.
years ago,
Yeah.
we used to see, 20-year anniversary, 30-year anniversary, or an anniversary, 50-year anniversary. But now
Now it's like, oh, two broke up.
we know
That they're broke up or people just don't believe in marriage anymore.
Yeah, there's that, and that they break up quick because, or divorce quick because we know of a guy personally that they got married and about 5-6 months in, divorce. It's insane.
Over like an argument or something.
Bro,
yeah.
what?
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
few months in.
Yeah.
You know, that tells
like
you
4 or 5 months in.
the values have to be set in place to get married. I think I'm not against marriage personally, but I think you have to have the right values and mutual goal set, and you have to make sure it's the right person because you can't just pressure yourself into it or just like, look, we're in our 30s. Some people get married because they're like, shit, I'm 35. I need to just do this. And like, I think that's the wrong way to go about
It's
it.
the wrong idea.
No.
We've had conversations about that before, like a timeline. I remember I used to be so stressed on it. Like, okay, I'm 21 now. Like next year's 22. Like, okay, 25 then, and this.
You
that.
start to feel that.
But everyone's timeline is different. Like what you want, another person is the complete opposite. Like, okay, maybe you want to get married by 26. I was like, by 26, I'm still living. Like, I'm still figuring stuff out.
Okay. So you're okay with still being single, going out, partying, things like that in 26, 27, 28?
Not even that. It's
Not
just
necessarily partying, but just still like, getting to my prime, like
Yeah.
getting to my time, like you have the rest of your life. Like I feel like people look at like, let's say you guys, how old are you?
38.
Yeah, 36.
Okay, like I feel
we're
like
in
some people
our
would like
30s.
look at you and be like, "Oh my gosh, like you guys aren't married." Like this,
Yeah.
that's not
They do.
okay, but that's not life's accomplishment.
Yeah.
Everyone's
That's not the
goal is
final
different.
thing.
Yeah. Like your purpose might be different. Your purpose might be different. Like that shouldn't be the. I mean, it's nice to have that as an end goal, but to each their own. People shouldn't judge it. Like when I'm 27, I'm being so honest with you. My family tells me all the time. They're like, "Oh my gosh, who's the next one to get married?" Girl, I haven't even turned 21 yet. Like
Nowadays, you can't force that.
Yeah.
on somebody because it's different times. But my parents ask me all the time, like, "When are you gonna get married?" And I'm just like, "You don't understand it.
Like
not
when
1980.
when it wants to happen, it'll come naturally.
It's
It's not 1980.
It's not
It's not 1960 or 70. It's 2024.
Different era.
It's a different
different
time.
generation.
yeah.
Things have changed, and
You guys used to write letters and shit to each other.
No,
Now
literally.
it's,
Where's my pigeon?
yeah, where's my pigeon? Why were you sending that
Where's
bitch
my
pigeons at
swan?
3 a.m.?
Like I
Drop
don't want
that
a
letter.
DM. Literally, like come to my house, write me a letter.
Like, bro, where's the boombox?
yeah.
Exactly.
forget about it.
I'm gonna put the record player
Now
on.
it's hard eyes and a fire emoji.
Yeah.
Fuck
You'll,
bitch,
you-
bro.
you'll get a DM with a meme. That's a boombox.
No, not even. What's your snap?
that.
That-
Bro, what?
That is such a turn off. Also, I'm
What's that?
so glad you brought that up.
If a man asks me, what's your snap?
Why are you still on
What?
Snapchat?
I'm on Snapchat because of the unlimited memories that they have.
That,
And, like, you know,
I
But
don't
why
use
Snapchat
it, but
specifically?
I feel like it's
you
like
send pictures back and forth.
Oh,
That's where people send news, whatever.
Okay, gotcha.
Like,
Just wanted to make sure. Okay.
Yeah, like we both still have it because honestly, like our storage is crazy. Like we'll go out and be like, shit.
We
no more
film
storage.
everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
So you're saying if the guy jumps out and is like, "What's your snap?" If he starts with that, it's like
Yeah, no, bye.
he's okay.
Bye.
Gotcha.
That's it. You fucked up. There's
Yeah.
no going back.
Do you guys have a lot of guys that snap you?
No.
No, I literally do not use Snapchat.
No.
And if
Yeah.
it's for both of us, it's like, oh, how does my eye look or something like that. Like seriously, because I have so many memories on there from years, like when I was
Yeah.
younger, and I don't want to delete that.
Yeah,
but
I
I
gotcha.
just don't use it.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, I haven't had that for like 8 years, 7, 8 years, something like that.
I just
So,
don't want to delete it. I just like,
No,
I'm like,
literally.
damn,
Plus, like, it doesn't run out of storage.
It
like, my
doesn't,
phone does.
no.
Yeah, it was a thing at the time, but shit was just a waste of time and
no.
stupid. So,
Mm-hmm.
but let's get to that. We never got to that fifth standard.
Oh, right.
I had one in mind, but I literally forgot it.
Well, what about physical attraction?
Oh, what about physical attraction? I mean,
That's got to be that's got to be one of the ones on the list.
Oh, a standard? Oh.
Standard.
You don't want an ugly
Oh,
guy.
okay.
What are you looking for?
Right.
What's again? What you're looking for in a guy? Top 5. Obviously, there's for women. There's way more than that.
Yes.
We know women have, an outline of probably 1,000 things that they want from a guy. Maybe more, maybe less. But what's your fifth?
Okay. I mean, standards or fifth one? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Like, we're talking
I feel
about, like, physical attraction. Bro, you have to be clean. Like, and I mean, like,
Smell good.
smell good, have your nails, like, I better not look at your, that's the first thing I look at. I look at your face. I look at your teeth. I look at your nails. And a man gotta know how to dress. I'm not going out with no boy who's wearing, like, skinny jeans and Toms and, like, a Nike Tech. No.
Yeah, you make a good point, but that's
Yeah.
like 4 or 5 things right there. Teeth good, clean, smell good, hair,
You know,
facial.
just have, like, some nice, like, self-care.
okay,
You know?
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
So we
for
got-
me, the height, the smile, so the teeth, the hair, the nails, we say that too, and then also the way you dress. I feel like
Yeah.
our things are very similar.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like definitely once we first meet, that's the first thing I'm looking at. Is your
Well, I
teeth.
mean, obviously, I'm not gonna date someone who's literally at eye level. I'm literally
Oh,
5
no.
foot.
Well,
I'm
girls,
not
you generally
dating.
want somebody taller than you, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure a lot of guys like that.
How about a
Girls
short?
are
Yeah.
shorter.
How about a short king, like a 5'7"?
I'm not
guy?
calling no short king a short guy, but
So if he's 5'7", 5'8", just because he's taller than you, is
no, that's fine.
okay.
Like, that's fine, you know?
We just can't be at eye level. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way we're looking at each other. Like, I have to tippy toe a little bit.
You want like a little guy wobbling up to you, like grabbing you by the leg or something.
Right.
He
That-
looks like an Oompa Loompa.
Oompa Loompa.
Well, see,
Munchkin, like,
Hey.
women love
No.
that because that's the impression they give. Men give women that they're going to protect them, take care of them. That's why.
No, it's all in the energy. It's all in the energy and the pressure you're applying. Honestly, he could be 5'7", 5'8", 5'9", whatever. I mean, like, just because you're 6'2", bro could not have the same masculine energy, bro.
Well, he's got being taller gives him that. Okay, he's.
It'll get him in the door.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know. I
and
feel
he-
like that'll like fill his ego up and be like, yeah, like I'm big dog, like yeah.
And and you look at him as, oh, this guy's he's my protector. He's gonna take care of me.
Yeah.
He's that's what I was getting at there. Okay, so I'm sure you guys have way more standards, but at least you listed a handful. I mean, women tend to have a ton of standards. Guys have to hit must-haves to date, and you guys seem to possibly not have that much, but unfortunately women have a lot. So the best thing to do to lock in a guy is lower your standards, not have as many, and once you get with a guy, work together to, okay, you want to see him change a certain thing, then let him know, and then he'll work to changing that.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you this, guys will find ways to change for women they like.
If a
That is true.
man wanted to, he would. And I feel like the whole, how you had just mentioned now, like women have like an endless amount of standards. It's like, I love you women, and I'm all for women's rights and wrongs. Love y'all. But there's no such thing as a perfect man.
Yeah, sometimes it's just like OD. It's like what
let's
do you
not
want?
set unrealistic expectations.
Yeah.
You know?
Makes sense.
And ironically enough, as they get older, it starts to get more complicated because now it's not just height and how you dress. Now it's like your salary. Well, what kind of job do you have? What's your long term? Can you buy a house? It starts to get even more complicated as you get older. That's how it tends to go.
Makes sense.
Because I think as women date, not for nothing, I think they step it up each time. They call that hypergamy. When women date, you don't want a worse guy next time. You want a guy that's slightly better.
Exactly.
Yeah, you want to improve every time.
So what happens is, from my experience, women that are still single in their like mid to late 30s, by then their standards are like OD high. Correct?
Correct.
And then it's just like, well, I don't know what you're hoping to find at this point.
I mean, you want what you want.
You want what you want. Everybody
Yeah.
has the right to want,
Everyone has their perfect match, but it's like, I do agree. I mean, like if I'm gonna be like in my 30s and stuff like that, like I'm gonna want to ask the man, like, what are your long-term goals? What do you aspire to be? Like, do you just want to stay stagnant in where you are? Like,
I think men are more likely, and you could tell me your take on this, like you're more likely to take a hit and be like, you know what? She's not as good looking, but I could see myself dating her. Or I'm
crazy.
just being honest with you.
that's insane.
Because when you're younger, you're younger as a guy, you do the opposite. You just want to go after good looking. You deal with the crazy girls, and you have like we talked about toxic relationships, whatnot. But it does get to a point where like right now, looks would be like second, third for me.
Yeah.
If we're talking about something serious long term.
Yeah, long term. Again, I'll say my top 5. Again, support. She has to be submissive. So that includes sleeping with you, because there's women out there that they don't like to put out, unfortunately. So I think that's important for me. Of course, the looks brings peace. And for me, I don't necessarily need a woman to go out. Of course, nowadays, 2024, women are going to go out and make their own money, things like that. But you're not going to be forced. With me, you're not going to be forced to go and work. I'm going to handle the majority of that. And then I just want to come home, have a solid home-cooked meal.
Yeah, traditional like.
Yeah, and that's it.
That's what I'm getting from it. He wants to be the
The very
provider.
traditional.
That's it. And
Provider man.
a lot of guys want to be that provider. But the thing is that, and this is the problem, a lot of guys want to be the provider, but a lot of women are not letting men be the provider. So that's where the tide turns. And I'm going to get a little bit controversial here in a second. But before I do, guys, we have the lovely ladies here. Subscribe to the channel, the Podcast Guys on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Rumble, the Podcast Guys _ and the Podcast Guys 5 on X. So what I was going to say is that guys are simple, but women are just, they're too much when it comes to, okay, well, I'm the guy, I'm going to go out, make as much money as possible. I'm going to bring home the bacon, as they say. But women also want to go out and do their thing, but they want to go out and make a ton of money. For women, going out to make a ton of money is not an attraction bullet point for men. They're not attracted to women when they make more money. And that's the problem. That's the thing women have to understand. Men are not attracted to you because you're making more money. That's actually,
I feel like that's a big ego killer for them.
yeah, that's something that men really work for. They want to work to be the man, and being the man is having that, okay, I can provide. I want to be the provider. And that's what's special to a guy. So a woman going out and making all this money, these girls that, hate to bring it up, but making thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions on OnlyFans, or, these big time real estate agents, or, other things that women do to make all this money. It's great and all, but to get a guy, it's not going to work out. It's really not going to work out, because also women want a guy that makes as much as them or more, because if they make less, they're going to see like, this guy's weak.
You can't provide for me as much as I can provide for myself.
Exactly. He can't provide for me.
But
I can take care of myself. I'm a boss boss bitch. I'm an independent woman. That's it.
That's what it is. You know, like I wouldn't want to be with a man who, okay, you want to be the provider. By all means, be the provider. But I'm going to still have something going for myself. Because nothing guarantees me that the man is not going to pick up his shit and just go. A man is replaceable. A degree, money is not. Like, I'm going to get that for myself and I'm going to have something going for myself. Like, we need to both be grinding. Mm-hmm. And if that intimidates you, then you can't be with me. Like, I feel like that's some form of intimidation to the man if he feels like kind of like, damn, like, you know?
Yeah, I think they should both work together and also they could do their own thing as work together, support each other. And if he has a business, she should support him.
Yes.
But she can also do her thing because, again, with the way breakups go, divorces are going, nothing is guaranteed. So, of course, she has to have something for herself.
100%.
So I see that. That's
like,
fine.
I'm not going to give that all to the man. And maybe it could be an ego thing because I know it could somehow tie 2 and 2 with a man. But for a woman, too, like, I feel like this day and age, like, I feel like a lot of women are so independent. Like, They are. Like, I know, so I'm not going to lie to you. Like, sometimes a man will be like, oh, like, I'll pay for it. And I'm like, I'll pay for it for myself. Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, I got it. Like, don't worry about it. You know, and it's like a pride thing. Sometimes you kind of just, that is being in your feminine, energy and all that stuff, like being taken care of. But then when it becomes like a lifestyle, like, I'm so sorry. Like, I just can't see myself personally, like, living through that.
See, I think nowadays, realistically, you need 2 incomes to, like, afford a house and kids and all that stuff.
So we're in that right now.
Where the economy is.
Makes sense.
I think what you're talking about is when a woman is like super, super focused on her career, where it's career.
Oh, above all.
And above all, and then they tend to get into like a masculine frame because you kind of have to be that successful.
Yeah.
You have to have that assertive kind of like masculine person. I think that's what you're referring to.
Exactly, which is not the best way for a woman to go about things if she wants to lock in the best guy possible.
Well, can we put the sparkle edit when we talk about independent women?
We'll have to...
The thing you guys did before? Or
no, the sparkle edit.
Oh, gotcha.
We'll have to throw that in. We just have these for now. So,
well, we had a female guest on the other day, and she said it. She's like, we asked, like, what do you think are like one of the challenges that women have with dating? Because we always talk about male challenges, and she said that like men and women are kind of like in like a battle of careers now.
Yep.
And I agree.
Yep,
I think women are motivated. They want to be independent and have their own thing going for them, and that could be affecting dating as a whole.
Like, who's hustling, who's grinding, who's making more, who's doing this, who's doing that. I mean, obviously, I feel like if you're in a relationship at that point, it shouldn't be a competition. If it's a competition, then...
Like, if I'm winning, we're both winning.
Yeah. So. Like, if I'm grinding, we're both grinding. If I'm making it, we're all making it, you know?
What was cool that you mentioned before masculine, feminine role, because I wanted to bring something up about that. Would you be okay being in your feminine role as long as you have a guy that's, taking the masculine role, providing and doing all the guy's responsibilities, the guy's duties to take care of you?
So I'm a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I would definitely want a man that's in his masculine side, like bring out my feminine energy and then just have you do your part.
Okay. Yeah. How about you?
I feel like I've only been used to being in my masculine energy. I feel like I have yet to experience being taken care of like that, because I have my friends know me, like I have a strong personality. The weak leave and only the strongest survive.
The weak don't survive.
No, the weak don't survive. The strongest stay. And if you stayed, well, but as of right now, there's nobody. So, I would ideally, I would like to date someone who allows me to be in my feminine energy and not feel like I'm in survival mode and I gotta play the game and I gotta do this and I gotta do that and I gotta protect the man and I gotta stand up for the man. Why am I doing that?
Yeah, I get your point. I get what you're saying.
Well, would you take a guy seriously if he was being feminine and if
he can be in
taking that masculine role?
Every guy kind of uses that feminine energy in a different way. Like when I say feminine energy, like just be in tune with your emotions. That's all. That's literally what it is.
Not act feminine, you're saying.
No, don't act feminine. Like,
okay,
wait, what do you mean?
No, because you're saying like, well, it's kind of, for me, it's kind of like confusing. When you say in tune with your emotions, meaning
like be able to talk about it, be able to like vulnerable. And I feel like now we say like, oh, like you're written by a woman. Like you understand women, you understand the complexity of what it is, like of how women are, not this whole macho ego whole
Like, yeah, I don't get
persona.
that.
Have no emotion.
Yeah, like
I
you
got
know,
you. I
like
got you.
or like oh, like I'm a man, like I'm not supposed to cry. Like
Well, what would your thoughts be of that guy that you're dating the first time he cries in front of you?
I'm gonna comfort him.
I think when a man cries in front of a woman, it would be a turn off.
I think it's a huge turnoff for a woman.
Depending on what it is. I'm not saying a family member dies away, but
I'm thinking like, oh, he went through something.
Yeah,
and like he's like, oh, like I'm having a breakdown. But if you're crying because I put you in your place or something,
then,
get out the crib.
Okay.
Get out the crib.
Okay.
Any crying though, any type of crying, like usually your guy, he's leading the charge. All of a sudden, he has a rough day. Something happened, excluding, of course, personal, death of the family. Knock on wood or anything like that, or somebody close to him passing away, whatever. Him crying, just crying for anything in front of you, how would you feel? Would you be okay? I'm going to comfort him and I'm going to still thrive in this relationship, or are you going to see like a different side? I learned something different about this guy that I don't feel so good about anymore.
If he's crying all the time?
No, just once in a blue moon.
Nowhere. Okay.
Okay, no, I'm gonna be sympathetic with the man.
Yeah.
Be like, yo, he's human. It doesn't even matter, man, woman, does not matter. You go through shit. Like maybe he's like, bro, like I can't. Like he breaks and he just cries, Past me though, I won't lie to you. Past me would have been like, you're a bitch. But I've developed. I'm mature. I feel like I'm more emotionally intelligent with that, and I'm not going to view the man in a different way. Like,
here's the thing with that though. Yes, you said back then you would say he's a bitch, but that's still deep down ingrained in you. I think that would come out a little later on. You're going to be like, oh, this guy's a bitch.
If he keeps crying about everything, yes. But if you're crying once in a while, like I said, like they're like for an appropriate reason, like I said, like if you're crying because I yelled at you or something, what?
Well, it could be a rough day at work or somebody.
How rough was the day that you're crying?
Somebody,
like
something, he lost a major deal, something big happened that affected him. It's definitely not recommended. Guys out there, never, ever cry in front of your woman. If you're going to cry, do it privately.
I think in general, you shouldn't lean to her as a therapist. Because I think if you complain too much, I think girls in general be like, the hell's the matter with you? Like, you can't handle your own life, Why can't
No,
I?
like, you can talk to me, but I'm also not your mother. I'm not your therapist.
I'm not your mom.
Like, I'm your partner.
Yeah.
Right.
Not going to hold your hand the entire time. We're not going to have training wheels on. Like,
You're proving my point because that's exactly what I'm saying. Women don't want to deal with a guy that's always... Not always.
That's what I'm saying. You said always, so I'm thinking it's like...
Once in a while moping around. Like maybe once every few
bad
months.
mood or something.
Bad mood, sad.
No, at that point, I really just think you're going through something, and it's like literally how I said, like sink or swim. Like either you get better, you get out of that hole, or we're not going anywhere.
Yep.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, guys. Have to be strong and show that in front of their woman. I think that's very important.
I mean, be strong, but like don't be afraid to be vulnerable either.
Yeah. Like there's a time and a place.
Like don't be misogynistic about it either and be like, oh, like I'm the man, like I'm not supposed to like do this and I'm not supposed to no, you're human. It happens. I feel like that ties into like the whole toxic idea of what a man is supposed to be and stuff. And then it's difficult for them to even express how they feel to a woman.
Okay.
Makes sense.
You brought up there a second ago misogyny. What's your definition of misogynistic?
Oh, how do I say this in English? Misogynistic. I mean, they see themselves in a more higher up than a woman.
I mean, that's not misogynistic.
Misogyny is more like a hatred towards women.
A hatred towards women.
Oh, I guess like in the Hispanic culture, it's kind of like don't be machista. I don't know how to explain it.
I don't know how you say it in English.
Yeah, me neither.
I think you got that confused a little bit.
No. It's the same word, but I guess it's
What's the word in Spanish?
Machismo.
Machismo.
I don't know.
Like no sea machista.
Translate.
Like cuando un hombre. Wait, do you understand?
I know
Speak
Spanish.
Spanish.
I know Spanish. I know Spanish, but I don't know this word.
Yeah, It's different in English than it is in
Some words you can't
Oh.
translate from. I know Polish, same thing. Some words you just can't. There's no direct.
Okay.
Yeah, no. But yeah, misogyny is a totally different thing. And
Damn, now I want to know how you...
and
We're going to figure this out.
Cut that out.
we'll figure that out afterwards. But with misogyny,
Okay.
there's a lot of women out there that judge us, other podcasts, by saying that, okay, because we're saying certain things about women, that we have a hatred of women, which is further from the truth. What do you guys think as far as what advice we're giving, what we're saying? Does it resonate with you? Do you understand where guys are coming from on certain things? Because
I do.
we're giving you a guy's perspective. So are we giving any sort of hatred towards women?
I don't think so. I mean, except from the fact that like you were like the woman making too much money, like you're not gonna find a good man like that. Like maybe she could. Maybe she could. That's just my only thing. You know, it's like roles reversed. It's like, oh, if a man makes too much money, like you're not gonna get a good woman out of that. Like,
Well, I think what you're saying is that,
Yeah, I didn't mean hatred towards women, but with that. But go ahead.
I think going back to what you were saying is like, as a woman makes more and more money, her dating pool is going to get a little smaller.
Exactly.
Because realistically, if
Yeah.
a woman makes like $500,000 a year, she doesn't want a guy that makes $100,000 a year. She wants a guy that makes $500,000 or more. So I think what you're saying is it starts to become difficult to find somebody when she makes that much.
It becomes difficult because she has extremely high expectations. I mean,
like how we talked about unrealistic.
yeah, I mean,
expectations.
the average woman has a lot of expectations, but a woman at that point talking millions of dollars, looks amazing and has all these things going for her, she's going to want top tier of man, the 1% guy. So that's where her dating pool is limited. On the other side, you have a guy that if he's making a lot of money, if he's of high value, he's going to have all the options in the world, all the women that are going to be giving him those choosing signals, those, they're going to be pretty much waving, hey, pick me, because what woman doesn't want to be with a man that has a lot of money, is of status, is 6 foot tall or higher, has all these things in place that women want.
Well, you know what the difference is? A successful man will still date a woman that's making minimum wage or has a good job or is successful. But I think if you were to reverse that, realistically, I don't think a successful woman would want anything to do with an average Joe.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's the thing. Women are more, I have all these standards for men, so I'm going to pick a specific guy. Men are like, if she looks good, I don't care if she works in marketing for some company or she works at Chipotle or McDonald's. She looks good. I'm attracted to her. That's it. That's kind of the mentality for men of high value versus women that are up there with the amount of money that they make. So I think that's something maybe you guys, if you guys were with a guy that is doing okay, he's an average dude making maybe 50, 60K a year, he's taking care of you guys, going out doing things, but you see this other guy, attractive, tall, making maybe $300,000-400,000 a month, you see his lifestyle, would that make you want to jump to try to be with that guy, break up with the guy you're with, and then jump to this guy if you had the opportunity?
I mean, what if he's a piece of shit?
You wouldn't know that till you would be with him.
But like the
He would be super nice to you beforehand and do all these great things.
But again, that's just a materialistic aspect.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you have money and what? Like, what else are you bringing to the table besides your money?
Well, the lifestyle, you guys go on vacations. He'll treat you to a different life, a better life. You won't have to. You can obviously again still work, but it won't be the necessity. It won't be the I need to work to live type of thing. You can work as a luxury, as an extra, as a bonus.
Right. But I mean, that's all nice and dandy at that moment. But like, who's to say it's not going to be taken away? Like, I don't want to be with the person if it's just going to be that. Like, oh, he's going to take me here, take me there. Like, I don't want that. I want emotionally available man. Like, if
there has to be a connection.
If you can bring both
A genuine
to the table,
connection, like
then
chemistry and all.
Exactly. Like, if there's a genuine connection between us, then okay, cool. You have the money and you can give me that. the money is just a side piece. Like besides
the money's
that,
the extra.
exactly.
It's good you have that mentality because I'm telling you, a lot of women nowadays are all about the money, and they it seems like they don't even care about the connection. So it's good you guys have that mentality.
Yeah,
honestly.
I mean, it seems like you guys truly feel,
Yeah, listen, we're people
About that.
We're very assertive
yes,
on what
and we
it is.
wear our heart on our sleeve for the right people. So
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great to see because there is something, I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but there is something called hypergamy where that comes into play when women see a guy that's better than the guy that they're with.
Yeah, of course.
So if the guy that they're with is a basic guy working a 9 to 5, doing okay, maybe jumping between jobs or has a steady job, making 50 to 60K a year, 70K a year, doing traditional things, and then they see this guy that's way better, can provide a whole different lifestyle. He looks great.
Yeah, it's a flashy man.
Yeah. So women will tend to jump to that guy if the opportunity presents itself.
I mean, I can see why, but definitely don't think it would be me.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, because there's a handful of girls out there that they want to see, okay, what's the best? What's next? What's better?
We're definitely not trying to paint, by the way, all women with one brush. We're just simply saying that women like that exist.
Yeah,
and
most women.
I think
Most
it's
women that you guys have encountered and spoken to, and you know,
Not,
like,
not just us, but most women in general. I mean, we've just by what we've seen,
Right,
obviously
that's what I mean.
we've seen podcasts and things like that. We've seen just women in general.
This is why I think men prefer to date women with a traditional mindset because it's a dying trade, if you want to say. Like now, I mean, we're in the U.S. Like everything's money, 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 money. Who has the nicer house, nicer car? Instagram, like who goes to Dubai and Greece and shit like that. Like that's just the world that we live in. So that's the direction people get pulled in, and I think it's very easy to screw up your core values because of it. If that makes sense. So.
Yeah, definitely.
Great. So, do you have any other questions we can throw at the ladies?
I think we pretty much covered a lot today. So I don't have any more questions.
Yeah,
No.
I got one more before we give you guys to ask any questions, to say your final thoughts, any comments you have in mind. But in general, and I may have asked this before, but kind of with one sentence, what's a successful relationship to you? A complete successful relationship.
A relationship where you can grow in every aspect, emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally.
Cool.
I agree. I do agree.
Same
feel like
same
Just
sentence.
like that part.
That part, clock it.
Yeah.
I think that's a perfect relationship. I feel like that's what a lot of people are looking for and what a lot of people miss. Like if you are in a relationship where you bring me up or where you shine with my, what am I trying, like my brightness or something like that.
Yeah.
Then that's a perfect like duo.
Yeah.
So-
You water me, I water you, and we grow together. That should be the end goal. Ultimately,
Makes sense. I mean, a lot of people don't go about it that way, and that's where relationships get all screwed up. So those that do go about it that way, it tends to work out.
Yeah.
What advice do you have before we slowly start to wrap up to the guys watching? If you guys want to take turns, what advice do you have to men watching in general?
Oh my gosh.
About dating, of course.
Where do I start?
How long you got?
Yeah.
One main.
We still got time.
If you could send one to all of them.
Okay.
Maybe something that's effective.
I'll give you an idea. Our last guest said, don't be scared to approach women and take that masculine role and go and
Take
approach.
initiative.
Because a lot of guys are scared to even go up to women nowadays.
I think it's like the fear of rejection.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Rejection is not. Wait, what is it? Rejection is redirection.
Yep. Okay.
Boom.
You ain't.
But no, I'm saying for a man, just learn to like yourself. That's all.
That's where the self-love comes from.
Self-love. It's not just for women too. Go do an activity by yourself. Go see what you like. Don't go from girl to girl to girl to girl to girl.
So take care of yourself.
Take care of yourself in every way.
That's what I was going to
Yes.
say.
Take care
Good
of
advice.
yourself.
You cannot love someone else until you love yourself.
Yes, and don't expect somebody
truly-
to fill your cup.
Yes, don't expect them to fill your void, like you said. But also, enjoy your own company. If you're telling me you can't sit at a restaurant by yourself and drink a coffee alone, then you should not be on a date
I love
with somebody
doing
else.
that.
I love
doing
You guys
like
do that often?
I
Of
love alone
course.
activities.
Like,
and honestly, it might be a little weird to other people, but I don't think it's weird. Like, I'm sorry, I enjoy my own company.
yeah, and I love it. Like,
Yeah.
I used to be very like, no, I don't want to be alone. But no, I would love to be alone.
Mhm.
Like, leave me alone if I get
Yeah.
the chance.
Yeah, I mean, for me, something that I do alone is maybe go for a run.
Mm-hmm.
That's
You know,
great.
I'll,
Like,
I'll
that's
jog alone and kind of to my thoughts. So that's something that kind of puts me back in.
It helps you
position to
physically,
be-
helps you mentally.
Running is good. I feel like it gives you like good. I don't know. It just allows you to focus and kind of like reflect.
Yeah.
It releases
whatever,
those like endorphins. And, yeah.
That-
No, I don't
that's
go
what it
running,
is.
but from what I've heard,
Mhm.
the endorphins like kick in, and it's
Mhm.
like,
Yeah.
great.
Working out in general.
Gives you a nice clearer
Oh, yeah.
mind,
Yeah.
clearer
We go to the
vision.
gym,
100%.
but running is something that I throw in there as an extra.
Oh, I go to the we go to the gym.
You could go to the gym
Very good.
tired in a bad mood. You'll always feel better when you leave.
Yeah,
Exactly.
100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll be like, this is the last place I want to be right now.
Right.
Coming out of there, I'm like,
And like
yeah,
just
I'm so
showing
glad
up
I
is like,
came here.
okay, I'm good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Getting there is half the battle, right?
Yep.
That's the
No,
thing.
getting there,
That's
yeah.
literally half the battle.
You have to just do it to feel good and get things to work in your direction.
Mm-hmm.
Action is good.
Yes.
Not doing anything.
That could be another piece of
you
advice for
screw
men.
yourself
Yeah.
over. So.
Stop talking so much and do.
Act. Like
Okay.
there's what is it? There's 5 love languages, and I feel like actions are the strongest ones.
Yeah,
It's
100%.
like,
you can
say
say sorry.
Yo, go for it.
you can say and talk and do all this stuff, but until you act on it, then I won't know you're being for real. So
Yeah.
So don't talk the talk. Take action.
No, 100%. Anybody could say I'm beautiful, gorgeous, all the above. Give me
Show
the stars
me
and the
that you
moon,
think
but like
that.
do it.
Yeah.
give me the stars in the moon.
Yeah. Present them to me right here on the table. Thank you very much.
All right.
Exactly.
Well, we know that. We know what you're expecting. So.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
100%.
Awesome. So, any last thought, questions for us here, or
What'd you think of the podcast?
What'd
What'd you
you
think of
think
today's
overall?
conversation?
I honestly love the questions, and I love the fact that we got to ask you guys.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I feel like you guys are very like in tune with what you want to say, and you
Mhm.
know like how these things are.
It's
So
good
I
to
feel
throw a
like
curveball.
exactly.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's like a different perspective than like the people we know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah,
So-
we don't mind being put on the spot.
You
and
guys
we'll-
are open to having these
Yeah, we go, "Why aren't
conversations,
you
and you.
Why don't you want to get married?
I'm like, well, did you cheat? Yes or
Yeah,
no?
yeah, that was
Say
good,
the
that was
truth.
good.
Take back a cheater.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, in your 20s, you're gonna tend to, we're in our mid 30s now. You're gonna tend to have some fuck ups. So, hey, it happens.
Happens
Listen, we
everyone.
live and we learn.
You live and you learn.
And the
It's
thing-
what you do with what you learn.
Exactly.
Exactly. And the thing is that I'll say this to the guys out there: it's important to admit your fuck ups so you can learn from them,
Yes, please
understand
take
them,
initiative, take accountability, know where you went wrong.
yeah, and move on and
Shows
make
character.
better decisions next time.
Mm-hmm.
But we all screwed up. I admit my screwed up, and you got to be a man to admit your screw up. So I think that's very important.
I think that just shows you're the bigger person. You know,
Yeah,
I'd say
exactly.
it's very
Exactly.
difficult to kind of take accountability and be like, "Damn, like I messed up," because
Yeah,
nobody
that-
wants to admit
that's where
that
your
sometimes.
That's right.
You know,
And that's actually a problem for ladies. A lot of ladies don't like to take accountability. Of course, men as well. But yes, you're right. Everybody should take accountability for their actions because it's better to just say it, not hide it, and have things build up.
Mm-hmm.
People are going to think a certain way about you if you don't take accountability. They're going to be like, this guy, there's no respect coming from this guy. So why should I respect him?
No, I
Exactly.
agree.
I don't think anybody wants to hear excuses from men, especially. Put it that way.
Exactly.
If you're a man of excuses, nobody's gonna
Yeah.
respect that.
Yeah,
Hey,
again,
he said it. I'm glad he said it.
that's true. A woman does not want to hear a man's excuses. So
Yeah.
definitely, guys, cut the excuses. Get out there. Get shit done. That's pretty much it.
Mm-hmm.
So awesome. Would you recommend ladies to come on the podcast? What do you think?
Oh
Definitely.
yeah, definitely.
Like, come and ask your questions, talk your shit.
Mm-hmm. No, because I was telling her, I was like, listen, like, you know how I am with men. Like, I'm very like, I'm very like on my defense mode. Like, what did you say?
Mhm.
You know, like I'm that friend of the group, right? So I was like, I feel like I'm gonna have like that safe space to talk, and I feel like we definitely broke that ice once I started asking you guys that question,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
you guys
yeah.
were very like open-minded about it. You know,
course.
you guys weren't on, like the edge about it. So, ladies, definitely come here if you want to speak your mind, girl.
Mhm.
There we go.
We'll
There
be
you-
in the background listening.
Yeah,
But
100%.
what she
And
said.
for those men out there, do something with your time and take some notes. Maybe it'll be useful.
Please. If the guys are watching this, take out a pen, take out a notebook, your notes app, because I feel like we said some pretty good stuff. So.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, definitely.
That's it.
We're setting you up for success.
Yeah, we're giving you a cheat code.
We're giving you the cheat code. We're giving you the blueprint. Do what you want with this information. Hopefully it's something good.
There you go.
That's why you got the podcast guys here, because we had the ladies coming in, doing their thing, and telling you what they're looking for, what they expect as well, and a lot of good things. Because I'll give you guys props. A lot of women don't think like you, so and they don't go about life as the way you think. So if there were more women with your mindset and with the way you approach things, I think dating as a whole would be great as well. So I compliment you guys.
Yeah, definitely.
So much.
We're
I feel
fairly young, and we have, I think,
You have a good
pretty
head on your
mindset.
shoulders. Like, based on what you told us, it's good on my part, because we've
Appreciate
seen, you watch
Thank
other
you.
podcasts and listen to how some of these women speak, and it's just like money, money, money. Don't waste my time. What are you going to buy me? And it's just like, that's not.
I mean,
Yeah,
again,
it's kind
to
of-
each their own. But
Yeah, I get you. I
support
get you.
women's wrongs and rights. I love
Exactly.
you, my women. But it's always like, what can you do for me?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, that's not what we're looking for.
Two people.
It's great.
50-50, and I said this so heavily on the last podcast.
Sometimes I be saying it's 100. Like, don't even give me that 50-50. Give me your
She's
all.
right.
Good way to put it.
Give me
Give
your
me your all.
and I will
Don't
give you my all.
100%.
Yeah, it's a two-way street. Everyone should give
Exactly.
their maximum
Definitely.
effort every chance they can.
100%. I feel like a lot of people tend to be 1 foot in, 1 foot out because of
No.
the idea of it failing and being rejected and all that. I'm like, guys, like, what's the worst that could happen? You get hurt? Don't we all get hurt at some
There-
point in our lives?
There's a no, and you move on to the next.
There you go.
It happens to the best of us. It happens to. It'll happen to us still, because it's always a numbers game. It'll happen to the best dating podcasters or gurus out there. So
100%.
it'll happen to everybody. Even the ladies, they'll get rejected too. Sometimes they'll give their signals, and guys won't even look their way. Or nowadays, ladies are going up to men,
I love that.
surprisingly.
I
should.
love
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
so much. Ladies, you are doing an amazing job. Please.
Go up to men and ask them
Yeah,
out,
and a
right?
lot of the men like
Well,
that.
I mean,
So-
you
or
know.
you show your interest.
Yes. Yeah,
and I'll say that again, ladies. It's very important to not just give these signals, these mixed signals, or these choosing signals. If you're interested in a man, let him know it. Say, hey, I like something about you. I like this. I like that. Whatever it is.
Buy me flowers. No, I'm just kidding.
Yo, what? That's the
No,
bare
why are you
minimum.
asking?
First of all,
kidding.
let's talk about it. Have you guys ever received flowers?
No.
Really?
As a guy, no, it's typically the other way around.
I love, like, if I had a man, I would give my man flowers. Like, if he accomplished anything, I'd be like, here,
Yeah.
baby, here you go.
See, that's what we're
Never received flowers.
that's what we're telling ladies out
But
there.
not like all the time. Chill. Like,
So,
oh
like,
no, of course.
let's relax.
somebody give these men flowers because
We appreciate that. And
I gave my uncle flowers the other day, and he was just like, "Oh my!" He said some dark shit. He's like, "Oh, like men only receive flowers on their deathbed." I was like,
Oh,
"Okay."
shit.
oh yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that are men.
I've heard that.
And
Yeah.
I feel like
Sad.
that's a little bit sad. Yeah.
It
because
is.
if we're receiving flowers, like we feel amazing about it. Like deep down, it's like, oh, like it's such a sweet gesture.
Yeah.
I imagine it feel the same way for you guys.
Yeah, I might do it once or twice.
Yeah, I
but
mean, yeah, guys.
That'll
once-
catch them off guard for sure. Like, oh, these are for me.
Yeah, like shed a tear or something. But I know you're gonna like it. Like it's a very sweet gesture.
No, I think
Yeah.
men like receiving gifts in general.
yeah,
just
I
like
mean,
anybody
not
else would.
necessarily flowers, but you know
Yeah,
what I mean,
anything.
like
Yeah.
gift giving. Everybody's love language is different.
I think it's a nice thing, but not always necessary. Just
Yeah.
guys again are simple. They want peace.
Yeah.
They want the food on the table. They don't want to fight. They don't want to argue. And
And we're good.
every now and then do a little.
Oh, you gotta give him that huck and spit on that thing. You get me?
And I think on that note, we'll
Cut the cameras.
We'll start to wrap it up. But you ladies, if you have any social medias or business, you want to tell the people where to find you.
Okay, Liz, you go, my girl.
So I am growing my fitness account. I am also a personal trainer. If you guys want to train with me, my fitness account is Lift with Liz. That's with the Y.
We love her. I've made so much progress. This is my bestie and my coach all in one.
There you go.
Love her so
There
much.
you go. We have proof right in the house.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So if you guys are looking for a model to model any of your clothing or whatever it is you want to be in contact with me, I will put my Instagram in their description and my TikTok as well, because why not?
Beautiful.
Perfect.
Shout out to both of you.
Literally.
Thank you. Thank you for coming
having
out.
us.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
We'll do it again at some point soon.
100%.
And for now, we'll leave you guys with this. Don't forget to Subscribe to the channel on YouTube. The podcast, guys, is where you find us.
Subscribe to the podcast, guys.
Please
If
subscribe.
you really like listening to us, we'll come back.
That's it.
Yeah, definitely come back.
Yeah.
100%. We had a fun time with you last time. Thank you for coming by
Of
today.
course.
It's always fun.
Yeah, we had
Alright,
Liz
had a
come
great
back.
time.
It's proof in the pudding that
Of course.
we're here to stay, and we're going to keep running. Again, on Instagram, TikTok, and Rumble, the podcast guys _ and the podcast guys 5 on X. We have more things to come, more guests coming on the way.
And we have lives on the way, too.
Lives
Oh.
coming
In the next
soon.
month or so.
So
No
Fun.
cuts.
No
cut the
cuts.
cameras.
No
No
cuts.
cuts, no cut the
Live
cameras, no
action.
edits.
Yeah.
All
Whatever
in
we
the
say.
flesh.
Yep.
we're doing some big things here on the podcast, guys. So subscribe to the channel, and we will see you next time.
Bye,
Peace.
guys.